day, happy holy day, happy holy day, happy holy day, happy holy day. Islam, Islam, Islam. All right, so we got like a minute to get started, but we're gonna get started in just a minute. Thank you for being on today. We're gonna talk about this topic, infidels. A sensitive topic, a very sensitive topic, okay? But I'm gonna open this meeting, get things going before people come in and we're gonna get started, and then I'll go live on Facebook over here, but I won't be live on this chat, so I'll be looking at all three chats at this point. But come in the room if you got questions. I'm going to start in a certain part of the Bible, and then I'm gonna go into the Holy Quran of the Morning Science Temple of America. Okay, Islam. So we'll get started. Islam, Islam, Islam. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7. And love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Why is Friday our holy day? Friday is our holy day because Friday is the first day when man was formed in flesh, and it was on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended until his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Islam. All right, so I want to just introduce and come in and say that. So now we're going to go into our prayer. Okay. We're going to rise. We give honors by rising and turning to the east. You don't have to turn to the east if you don't want to. You could just, in silent benediction and join us in prayer. I'll just face this way because I'm waiting for people to come into the YouTube room. Islam, Islam, Islam. All right. So we put up 2 fingers on the right. We put on 5 on the left. Standing on our square. So we put our heels together, standing on our square. We do the Moorish prayer. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, amen. Islam, Islam. I would like to first rise and give honors and sending out all the prayers to California right now. We're sending out all the prayers to California. I have family in California. I trust everybody is safe. I don't really know how to get in touch with my family in California. They're my mother's side of the family, so I don't know how to get in touch with them. But I want to send prayers and honors and holy day honors, and just trusting that they're safe out there in California and everyone else is safe. And just, we got to know why things are happening. That's just period. And it's a hard conversation to have, but we got to really understand why these things are taking place. All right. So that's why we're here tonight, to have this discussion on this topic. Islam. So I'm going to give honors first, and then I'm going to our laws. So I just wanted to send the prayers out to our families in California and all over the world where any tragedies are happening right now. All right. So I rise giving the highest holy praises, the highest praises. No one else deserves the highest praises more than Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also, Allah, the Mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Islam. I want to also rise and give honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Ali, who brought us this message here to America so that we can learn who we are and learn how to love ourselves instead of hate ourselves. Islam. Not that he had a long time to teach these lessons or teach this information to the masses, but he only had enough time to introduce it, really. So he says something that it's said that he said. I'm not going to say that I know for sure, but it says that he said that it'll be 50 years before you know what he brought you, and it'll be another 50 years before you even understand it. You'll even understand the information that was placed there. Islam. So honors to all of those that have come into this movement before us, that are our elders, that have studied for before I was born. I promise you, you know what I'm saying? Because I've only been here 51 years. So, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of catching up to do. Islam. So I want to definitely give honors to that, because the prophet, he brought us something amazing. He brought us something that would save us from ourselves, save us from the things that are going on in the world. So we must give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder. I want to also give honors to the forerunner to our prophet, who was like John was to Jesus. John was the forerunner to the prophet. John was the forerunner to Jesus, but our prophet had a forerunner too. His name, Marcus Mosiah Garvey Bay. We like to give him his Moorish attributes. So Marcus Mosiah Garvey Bay, All right, y'all. Yeah, this weather is really on one, so we're gonna trust that I can still scroll and look at my notes on the computer. It shouldn't go off for that reason. But we're gonna wait for people to come in. It's no big deal if you're late. It's all right. Everything's in perfect timing, divine time. It's all right. Isha taught me that. Divine time. The stage. We're gonna move it out the back. Yeah, that was giving all the bad. Islam. All right, so we're gonna get into this. Islam, salvation, Allah, unity, because I'm not sure how long it's gonna allow me to be on here. Islam, salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. But it's a sensitive word that's used. So, we're just going to be real careful. We're not here to offend anyone or any of that. That's why I'm reading these laws. So, I'm not coming from no place of hate. I'm only coming from love and truth. Is when it's the truth, that does not mean it's hate. When it's the truth, that there's a difference. Islam. All right. So, I'm going to do the additional laws, and then the two co-hosts should be coming in by then. The Moorish Science Temple of America, additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. The Grand Sheik is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the member to sacrifice finance. that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand sheik. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings properly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, must be fined $13 on the first case, and on the second case, he will be fined $26, which will go on your emergency fund. No one else's, your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Getting tongue tied. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Islam. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his five senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, right here. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Islam, 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 family, Islam. Thank you for being here. Giving honors to you all out there in the world. Yeah, it's freezing up out here in Atlanta, Georgia. So we'll see how long we'll be out here. And we'll see if the people will be able to get in. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Hey, hey. Sister Shonda. Oh, is she on the stage? Hold on. I'm trying to get her on the stage. Why ain't letting her go? Okay, there she goes. All right. So we got one guest in. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Because I know it's going to go out on me. So I'm going to turn this down. Because I'm going to end up being on stage over here. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Because I'm going to have to mute. Hold on. Here we go. Echoey still. Am I echoing?
My internet gonna do this.
Mine is too. Am I echoey over here? Yeah, she done froze up. We probably going through the same thing, to be honest with you. It's gonna be a little sketchy over here, I think, tonight. It's gonna depend because um let me see. I'm gonna see if she's gonna unfreeze. Yeah, her internet is buffering, but we gonna get this done. It's gonna get done today.
Can you hear me, sis?
Yes, I can hear you perfect. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying.
I was saying it was and so I'm like, maybe if I cut the camera off, it'll. Mm-hmm. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you now. Are we live right now? Hmm. Hmm. In the kingdom of heaven. Oh goodness, let's see. Oh, my eyes playing tricks on me.
How is that? Is that better?
Yes, sis, I'm hearing you
A
good.
lot better. Okay, good. All right. Man, this thing is tripping. You hear me? This thing
Is
is
this
tripping.
internet up here? Mm-mm-mm.
And it's freezing now. It's starting to freeze out here because it's getting dark. So now it's freezing. Now everything's about to freeze up. So I'm like, I don't know how long it's gonna stay on the computer. So I'm gonna have to probably just do it from the phone and read from the computer. So hopefully I can see the chat, or if someone comes in, I can be seeing it. My little eyes. Girl, oh my goodness. This oh no, where did you go? Don't you go away? Hope you didn't take my notes away. Excuse me. I was making it ugly. So how are you feeling? How's everything going? How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm good, sis. I just was digging through some natal chart stuff. I had somebody I was doing a natal chart read for, so that's what I've been doing all day.
Okay.
For myself, for this. Yes. But it's a great day. Some more. So
Huh.
I said, be blessed.
Oh man, I can't hear you. Oh shoot, it's tripping for real.
And it could be mine too. You can't hear me at all?
No, I can hear you better now. You're better. Here, where is my thing at? I just had all that all today. Come on. Yeah, there we go. I need that.
Yeah, let's go right here.
Okay, we are going to get started now in just a second. I just finished reading the laws. I was trying to wait for Vashara and get this situated. It was just tripping too much. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I guess where I want to get started at, I don't know. Do you want me to start or you want to start? Want me to start it off? I'll start it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it started.
Okay. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back. Because I don't know how well it's gonna stay up here, and I gotta let me see if I can. It's a little janky right now.
Mm. We gonna make it work.
Yes, it's a little janky
Oh, I
right
gotta
now.
get me another Bible. This is crazy.
All right, y'all. So let's get started here. I was trying to wait for Vashira, but she hasn't come in yet. So we'll just go on and get started. So tonight's presentation is on infidels. I tell you, that's a sensitive subject. You know what I'm saying when it comes to that. That
Mm-hmm.
that word is very sensitive, right? And are you familiar with? I mean, everyone should be familiar with that word, infidels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where it comes from. So I'll just give what the term really means, and then go into it from where we're going to come out of today. I believe we're going to come a lot out of Revelations, but we're going to also go into the circle 7 also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what is an infidel? An infidel is a term that refers to a person who does not believe in a particular religion or who does not adhere to the dominant religious faith in a given society. Historically, it has been used in a pejorative or derogatory manner to label someone who is seen as an outsider or a non believer.
Mm-hmm.
The exact meaning and connotation of the word can vary depending on the context and when it's used. It's important to recognize that the term can carry a lot of cultural and historical baggage, and it can be offensive if it's used to disparage someone's belief. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a group called the Infidels? Yeah, there
Mm-hmm.
have been groups that have been used the term infidels in their name. One example is a far right group in Canada called the Canadian Infidel. This group, along with others like the Klan, have been involved in anti Islam, which we practice Islam. We're
Mm-hmm.
pro Islam, anti
Islamism.
Islamic activities, and has targeted mosques. It's important to note that such groups often use the term in a derogatory manner, and their actions can be harmful and offensive to the communities they target. All right. So that's coming from our good AI. I had a whole conversation with this thing before I got on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trip. When I get to it, it's gonna blow your mind when we get into what we getting into. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
I asked this thing because in asking what an infidel is, I just want to tell you that, yes, we study Moorish, we're Moorish American and we study Islam. And
Yes.
we're Moorish scientists, right? The reason why we're there, we say that because we still hold on to the customs and cultures when you practice and apply these laws to your life, these instructions to your life, to you. So we everywhere we went, we've taken ourselves. It didn't matter where we were there. And so if you go back to what a more really is, it takes you back to the ancients of where we come from. It's not just here. It doesn't just say, hey, we started here. And it only starts when the conquistador Moors came and got y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. That's not the only group of Moors there were. There's many nations of us in many places. Islam.
Islam.
So I asked, were the conquistador Moors considered infidels?
I don't.
It says during the time of the Reconquista, the term infidel was often used by Christian kingdoms to describe Muslims, including the Moors. The Reconquista was a series of campaigns by Christian states to recapture territory from the Muslims who had occupied most of Iberian Peninsula. The term infidel was used in a religious context to denote those who did not adhere to Christian faith. That's when you get the doctrine of discovery. That's when that comes in. Why they came over here and did what they did as far as the religious part. So in the context of the Reconquista, the Moors were indeed considered infidels by the Christian conquistadors. So they called them Christian conquistadors. This
Christian.
term was a part of the broader religious and cultural conflict between the two groups. This is still popping off today. So if there were Christian conquistador Moors, those Moors look like they were looking like us, y'all, but they not like us. They not like us. They were still considered a Moor because Moor is not the religion. We study the religion of Islam. We study our religion is old time. That's why it's Islamism. Islam. I want to make a point of something of how we lose stuff, how we lost our birthright, our vast estate and our birthright, but how it even from the Bible, what's going on today, what we're seeing in California, everywhere, that this is written not only in Revelations, but it's written in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, where we study Islamism. This is Islam. So this is more Christian based. This is Muslim based. You just heard me say that the infidel was used toward us as the Muslims, as the people that study the first Islamic creed of Islam, which simply means peace. It doesn't mean nothing bad. It doesn't mean nothing else. Look it up. Islam, it means peace. Clearly, what is wrong with studying the religion of peace? Because we're peaceful, and then you want us to be, now we're infidels because we're peaceful? Something's wrong here, y'all. Something's wrong. Somebody been lying a long time, and we need to get this right. So, Sister Shonda, do you have any questions or anything to say before I continue?
No, just continue.
Okay, Islam. So in Revelations, and this is a Holy Bible, so Revelations, chapter 1. In Revelations chapter 1, it states, I'm going to start right here. The revelation of Jesus Christ, the Christo. We're going to say the Christo, the Christ. We're not putting a physical figure on this person. We're going to talk about the Christo, that higher essence, that illuminated essence in you that takes you up to your higher self, to the Corona crown. Islam. And so that's who we're going to, this is who we are. This is what we're talking about, or who we're talking about. I don't want you to put it in a figure, because that's where we keep messing each other up. So the revelation of Jesus Christo, which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ and all the blessings he saw. Blessed is he that readeth and they that hear the words of this prophecy. So I'm gonna go back up to this. I want to go back up here real quick. Hold on. Oh, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. That's what it says in First Revelations. But I want you to pay attention at the top. The revelation of Jesus, which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. John was the forerunner to Jesus, right? And John being the forerunner to Jesus came to say, hey, I got to prepare y'all to meet your king. So I need to warn you that there's a king coming. You know what I'm saying? So John the Harbinger, there's a chapter in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 14. The ministry of John the Harbinger. John the Harbinger returns to Hebron, lives as a hermit in the wilds, visits Jerusalem, speaks to the people. Okay? He speaks to the people. He's telling them, hey, prepare Israel, prepare to meet your king. Prepare Israel, prepare to meet your king. Oh, wait, where are you? I didn't see you. You couldn't have been in here for 20 minutes. We ain't seen you. No. Oh, excuse me, Sister Shonda. You still hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Prepare to meet your king.
Oh, did it freeze? Can you hear me?
I was trying to get Vashira because now, oh man. Okay. I'm on the phone, so I don't know what's going on. Let me see if it's. I really don't want to try to do it on the computer because it's going to kick me back off. Then I'm going to lose my. If you see something come out at the bottom, just let me know. For some
Okay.
reason, she said she was in the back. I don't see her nowhere.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
when you.
see anything either.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, in here in this chapter 14, we're warned of some things. You know what I'm saying? This is about some infidels, and there's some infidels in here that don't believe John. They don't believe that no king is coming. He keeps going to this market. He's trying to get the multitude to understand that there is a king. Their king is coming. He's coming to save you from what you're going through. And I'm trying to warn you of what's coming. Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king. So people try to follow him and he would just disappear. So they didn't understand what was going on, right? So I'm going to get to the point of first Revelations when it's saying shortly come to pass. In here, it speaks of some infidels. So I'm going to start at instruction 20
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go to 28 in chapter 14. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. This how we can let's talk about these conquistador Moors that really didn't believe in Islam, and these are ones we're kind of dealing with them today. Islam, our own people. So you have lived in sin. The poor cry in your streets, and you regard them not. Your neighbors, who are they? You have defrauded friends and foes alike. These infidels. You worship Allah with voice and lip. Your hearts are far away and set on gold.
Mm-hmm.
Your priests have bound upon the people burdens far too great to bear. They live in ease upon the hard-earned wages of the poor. I'm gonna need y'all to be paying attention to the California stuff too as I'm speaking of this. Listen what's being said here. Your lawyers, doctors, scribes are useless cumbers of the ground. They are but tumors to the body of the state. They toil not, neither do they spin, yet they consume the profits of your marts of trade. Your rulers are adulterers, extortioners, and thieves, regarding not the rights of man, and robbers ply their calling in the sacred hills. The holy temple you have sold to thieves, their dens in the sacred places set apart for prayer. Hear, hear, you people of Jerusalem, reform, turn from your evil ways, or Allah will turn from you. And a heathen from afar will come, and what is left of all your honor and your fame will pass in one short hour. Please understand, 1492 to 1812 was some stuff took that went down for us. You know what I'm saying? These folks came and took our stuff. Our stuff look like us, but what us? Prepare Jerusalem, prepare to meet your king. Prepare Jerusalem, prepare to meet your king. Sister Shonda, can you kind of expound on that, or do you want to say something from there while I get Bashira in here,
Right there,
please?
wrong. Okay. I don't have my Circle 7 open right now either, but
Okay.
I can.
It's okay.
speak on the fact because I usually pull it up. Mom having so many technology problems, and I normally would be looking have it pulled up, but I don't.
It's all
Um,
right.
Cheese or Pete's. Okay. Like you said, we the harbinger. We have John. He's come to the market and he's been warning us. He's been warning us about these times to come. In Revelations, the beginning of Revelations is basically telling us that the Christos came to show the servants some things that must surely come to pass. Now, when it's like the harbinger was coming to tell us that the one to bring us the message was to come, and then now we have Jesus Christos. I like you. I want to get away from that
That
J word
Crisco.
because
Yes, come
yeah.
on. That's why there's
So
Crisco grease.
right, right, because we gotta, and we inclined to keep saying it because we reading it, but I'm gonna put a little note right there so I can stop
Yes.
saying
Okay.
because okay. Yeah, so yeah, basically like that's just what I'm pulling out of there is that how we need to look at the order of how those things happen. We got John coming out to tell us the one to come, and then the one comes and he's bringing us this message, and I think we kind of missed the message too. Apparently we missed
Mhm.
the message. And I like that you started off with what an infidel was because I think we wrongfully misunderstand what an infidel really is. We labeling people infidels that aren't, and we're not
Mhm.
recognizing the true infidels for who they are, which are the
Right.
imposters.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So that's why this is important. Is she come yet? Dang. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know how to see when she's here. Like, I don't know if I can see that.
It's supposed to be at the bottom. I'm trying to see if she's okay. I just sent it. What is it? Okay, so um infidel. Okay, because I'm gonna have to go live here. I don't know what's going on with the thing. Y'all know I really don't be really wanting, but we gonna do this live because I feel everybody needs to hear this today.
Yes,
I
this is.
feel this is a must.
Yeah.
This is one of them must things, you know.
Mm. Okay.
And
And
so
then let me see.
yeah,
Still trying to
kind
get
of
her in.
you can dig in.
Okay, so I had told you for one of my favorite parts of Revelations because it was so convicting to me about where we stand with Allah, and it's Revelations 3 and 14. I actually want to start, and it's a letter written to the church of Laodicea.
Ooh, come on now, girl.
Mhm.
These church letters. I did a whole presentation on these church letters.
Yeah, I love them.
Let's go.
I love them.
Would you say chapter? Would you say chapter? Which one?
Three,
Three.
three,
Chapter 3. Okay,
and four.
Revelation chapter 3.
Yes, Revelations chapter 3, and I'm starting at verse 14, where the letter to the Laodicea starts, if I'm pronouncing that right, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And okay, and unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and the witness, the beginning of the creation of God. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then because these words are so small, this is crazy. So then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. I swear it's like
Mm-mm. Okay, you want me to? Do you want me to? You need me to read it? Well, you good? Can
yeah,
you
if you
see?
can't yeah, it's like I don't know why it's the glare of the light. It's like everything working against me right now.
Okay, I
So
got you. I got you, sis. So you said it started 14 and go.
yeah, so 22 is where I was gonna go, but wherever you want to
Okay.
go is fine.
Okay. And unto the angel of the church of Laodiceans, write these things, said the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then thou would art. I know the way they word it. So then,
I
because
know.
thou art lukewarm and neither cold or hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable, and poor and blind and naked. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. And anoint thy eyes with eye salve. I salve? How you say that? Oh, let
Solve.
me
I
get it.
solve. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Back. Okay. I need to go find my
Um,
glasses because I got some too.
you're all right. All right. So I solve, and thou mayest see. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him, and will sup with him, and he with me. To him with that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Yes, Islam. Like
Mhm.
I love that text right there because of that lukewarm part. Thou
Yeah.
neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm. So I had to spew you out of your mouth, and it's the thing of us choosing a side and being committed and faithful to the side that we choose. This is like, are you hot or are you cold? Because lukewarm ain't it. Um,
Mhm.
and then again, to me, it like encapsulates the message of this is what Allah is looking for. This is how you get into the kingdom. This is how you got to walk like me and talk like me and have yourself tried. When they talking about the
Mhm.
gold, they're not really saying go out and buy gold so you can look fancy. It's like try the gold. It's a way of saying test the spirit, test yourself, your own spirit first of all. Um, and try yourself up against the word of Allah so you can show yourself approved to be with the kingdom. And to me, this is a space too where we have a lot of self-condemnation that comes down on us, on ourselves, that we project to our brothers and sisters, because we know we in the lukewarm area, we're in the gray area, and we move about on the internet, in real life, in history, and now
Yeah.
in these gray areas, and we're not really choosing our life. And right now
Islam.
in this space, we still have an opportunity because the in this space, when this letter is getting sent to the church, the wrath is not here yet. So he's saying, get it together because something is coming.
Because it's coming. So John was preparing our people. John prepared, no different than Marcus Garvey prepared before the
Mm,
prophet got here. So I wanna kind of camel back in Islam, Sister Bashira. I know you
it's
just got
long.
in. Honest to you, happy holiday. I want to
Happy
kind of
holiday.
I want to camel back off of which you were coming from, but I want to come out of chapter 2 real quick about a letter that was written to the
Mhm.
church of Ephesus.
Okay.
To the church of Ephesus. I want to talk about that one real
What
quick.
book is this?
This is chapter 2, Revelations chapter 2.
Oh, we're in the Bible. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, oh, my fault. Yeah, we're in the Bible.
So we're
And
speaking.
I
Are
think
we
I
talking
might
about
read it.
being up underneath the Roman yoke law still, of how they're portrayed to be, considered the ones who's ruling it, but yet we talking about like the Black Pope is what we talking about.
Well, this is infidels. This is about the infidels. So I
Okay, they
talked
don't.
about what the infidels were. There were infidels. There were Christian infidels. I mean, no, there were Christian conquistadors, but they called us infidels. They didn't like the Muslims. They didn't like the Moors. The Moors were infidels to them. So
Mhm.
that's why this is spoken on infidels, but we're not going to. We don't use it in a radical way. We're telling the truth. This is the truth. AI gave me this truth. I had a whole conversation with AI. Y'all about to see. Literally, I had a whole conversation with this thing and had to I had to correct it on something, and now it's saying, "Hey, can you tell me more about your history? I'm gonna tell y'all how I came at it too." And it just went ham on me. It was just like, "Wait a
Wow.
minute, wait! I didn't look at it that way." Now I don't want to offend you or anything. Oh yeah, because I felt you did offend me. So I had a whole conversation like this is a whole human going.
Sis said
So
I felt you did offend me.
man, what? So I want to read from chapter 2, and I'm not gonna go all the way through. Um,
I don't know what I just did. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
okay. Okay, so John gave to the 7 churches which are in Asia. So I need y'all to keep that in mind.
Come
Asiatics,
on.
Asia. Keep that in mind. Asiatics, Asia. Um, Black nobility. Okay, Islam. Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see if I can pull that to the front. I would love.
Where's sister go?
I don't know. That's what I was like. Ah, she did just blink off. Oh, I hope she didn't knock herself out. But I don't
There
think we
she
would still
go.
be on.
Excited about
Okay.
the chat. Okay, that's all. I got excited. Okay, what's Bashira put in the chat? Okay, so John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you. This is in chapter 1, though, verse 4, because I wanted to finish that one before sister, when we was trying to get Sister Vashira on there. John to the 7 churches which are in Asia. Remember, there are 7 Elohims. Grace be unto you and peace from him which is, which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. Islam. So chapter 2, I'm gonna start at 1. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus, write these things, saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. This is in red, so this is Jesus talking. Jesus is speaking here.
Mm-hmm.
Bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars, and has borne, and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored, and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. We left our first love. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repentest. But this thou hast, and that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitanes, I think. Is that how you pronounce that, y'all? Nicolaitanes?
Yeah, your guess. You about doing about as good as I could.
Which I also hate. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh, will I give to eat of the
Mm,
tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, write these things, says the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are
mm.
the synagogue of Satan. We talking infidels here. They look like me and you. They look like us, but they not like us. They not like us. They truly are not like us, y'all. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, and ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And to the
Mm.
angel of the church of the pilgrims write, these things saith he which hath the sharp sword with 2 edges. What is going on? Allah's wrath is swinging over America right now.
Islam.
I know thy works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. So hast thou also them to hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, or something like that, which thing I hate. Repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. And he that hath an ear, let him hear with the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh, I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. Islam, I'm going to stop right there because that stone has our name on it. I just need to say
Islam.
that. But do you, when you're reading through that, do you see the infidels? Do you see the trickery? That's why the prophet said, don't throw this away. You're going to need it to correct the European, and the European don't necessarily is Caucasian, y'all. I need y'all to stop thinking that. Islam, Lashana,
Islam.
would you like to speak on that at all right now while we're at that point of these infidels?
Okay, what's the definition that you say? What is the infidel?
Okay, infidel. An infidel
Mm-hmm.
is a term that refers to a person who does not believe in a particular religion, or who does not adhere to the dominant religious faith in a given society. Historically, it has often been used in a pejorative or derogatory manner to label someone who is seen as an outsider or non-believer. The exact meaning and connotation of the word can vary depending on the context in which it's used. It's important to recognize that the term can carry a lot of cultural and historical baggage, and it can be offensive if it's used to discard someone's belief. If you have, so then I went in and asking, well, was there a group called the Infidels? Yes, there has been groups that have used the term infidels in their name. One example is a far-right group in Canada called the Canadian Infidels. This
Mm.
group, along with others like the Klan, has been involved in anti-Islamic, which we study Islam, against us activities, and has targeted mosques. It's important to note that such groups often use the term in a derogatory manner. Their actions can be harmful and offensive to the communities they target. So I asked, were there conquistador Moors? Were they considered infidels? During the period of the Reconquista, the term infidel was often used by Christian kingdoms to describe Muslims, including the Moors. The Reconquista was a series of campaigns by Christian states to recapture territory from the Muslims who had occupied most of the Iberian Peninsula. The term infidel was used in a religious context to denote those who did not adhere to the Christian faith. So, in the context of the Reconquista, the Moors were indeed considered infidels. We were considered infidels by the Christian conquistadors. This term was part of the broader religious and cultural conflict between the two groups. I just read from Revelations and I just came out the Holy Quran. What is the problem? You see how they trick us? They trick us through things because they hide it in here. But if we don't know where to go look for it, so that's why most people won't teach Revelations. It's really written in law that they really can't, to be honest, in certain sectors. They really can't touch it like that.
Mm-hmm. It's good touching on the truth when you're dealing with the infidels. I mean, the what somewhere there you read, there are people who call themselves Jews but are not. So we got these imposters everywhere.
Everywhere.
And so if you really did get to teaching Revelations, you dealing with some hot water right there.
Yes, and good. We need hot water because guess what? It's real hot. It's real high. And
Mm-hmm.
you see them even through this, where they've been doing things on certain lands. It said the crow cry, the poor cry in your street. Isn't this what it say in 14 about the infidels? So you live in sin, the poor cry in your streets, and you regard
Mm-hmm.
them not. Your neighbors, who are they? You don't even know your neighbor. You don't know your neighbor. Stop playing with me. You have
Mm-hmm.
decided friends and foes alike. You worship Allah with voice and lips. Your hearts are far away and set on gold. Your priests have bound upon the people burdens far too great to bear. They live in the ease upon the hard-earned wages of the poor. Your lawyers, doctors, scribes, and are useless covers of the ground. They are but tumors to the body of the state. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet they consume the profits of your marks of trade.
Your rulers are adulterers, extortioners, and thieves, regarding not the rights of men. And the robbers ply their calling in the sacred hills. The holy temples you have sold to thieves. The dens are in the sacred places set apart for prayer. Hear, hear, you people of Jerusalem, reform, turn from your evil ways, or Allah will turn from you. And a heathen from afar will come, and what is left of all your honor and your fame will pass in one short hour. So who came over here and took what from us?
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. I'm telling you, the prophet was very intentional about what's up. Why people want to deny it, but you need to understand that pale skin don't mean pale skin like that. It don't, because if you look up the word pale, it just
I
means a
mean,
flushed
right.
skin. You can turn pale if I don't feel good. So what you saying? And a
It's
pale horse, what we learned the other night, looked it up. A pale horse is not pale. It's not white. It's not that color. It's a grayish color.
and of course, we don't have the power to have the structure of racism, but the problem is we have allowed them to use colors and races to trick us into not even recognizing who's actually against us.
Who's
And
again?
we need to really get real with that because it ain't who we think it is. It definitely if we really think about it, it's just trickling down on so many different levels that we should be able to open our eyes and see exactly what type of divisiveness is going on. But these color games, because I just learned that the other day. I always thought the pale meant white too until you and me and Sister Tay was discussing the Rod Hayes video, and it's like, wow, okay.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It's,
It
so
tell
that's what we
it could be us as well too.
Mm-hmm.
it is. Mhm. It
Yeah,
is.
it's us as well too. But a lot of that color, when you said the color and racism thing, um, it was just takes me back to think about how it be your own people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people within a certain class that considers they are of our I would say our race. Well, I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
we're restricted to that, but they're Asiatic as well. But based off, they got so mentally implied with their color of their skin, thinking that they were better on a better status because of their color of skin. So they treated others that was darker than them just as bad as the original Caucasian people did. And they also, some of them, that movie Passed that came, they passed as being actually um, so-called white people, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And they came from wealth. A lot of them, all of us that was over, we was not poor. We was not slaves. We was not poor. We were wealthy. It was a lot of wealthy people over here that actually classified themselves to be more so on a elite status, a nobility status, royalty status, if you want to call it, coming from the British laws. That's been married and intertwined with that. So it's like they hiding their hand because they don't want us to know. It's more
Yeah.
so the other people, the Caucasians, is that I wouldn't say people that don't even look like us is ready for us to know. They're tired of it. They want us to know who we are. You know what I'm saying? They're
Mm-hmm.
ready for us to know who we are. Like, okay, it's the
Right.
ones that we think is us that's not like us that don't want
Mm-hmm.
us to know.
They don't want us to
Yeah.
know it. They do not want us to know this. They holding a lot back from us. Wait till we get into this thing. You gonna really see where they really trying to hold it back, and it makes sense why they try to silence the sisters, why they try to keep us so quiet. Because when this truth hits the fan, when this truth hits the fan, oh my goodness, are you serious? Well, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people gonna be boo faced because it's coming. Believe me, once they release these classified documents, quote unquote, that's public record, it's gonna blow people away how much of us is written out of things as the system, as the original, as our lost jewels, as our lost jewelry, as our lost jewels, as our lost jewelry. As
Come
long
on.
we was stolen. We're the prisoner of war. We're the first prisoner of war. We still prisoners of war because everybody want to keep us shutting up. Shut up, shut up. Don't say nothing. Like
And
these
they don't
children.
even
The call
know
should
that
be still not heard. Huh? Go
And
ahead.
they learn to tell us to shut up because we didn't get treated like this, you know. So who taught you to tell us to shut up?
Yes,
Somebody
right.
taught you that. But the masters of creating this division is who, because they created it on first they had to separate them from us, and then they had to separate us from each other so that we wouldn't be able to see the truth. And then us from each other, and then now you got it just trickling down, husband from wife, mother from daughter. You know, now it's just we're so divided on so many different levels, all because we don't really know who's at the top, pulling these puppet master strings to keep everybody in confusion, and especially with the divine feminine.
Come on now. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Did you want to say something on that, Bashira?
No, I'm listening to y'all. Y'all fine. I'm listening to y'all.
Mhm.
All right. Yes. So I wanna point out something. My sister Haroon, she's a Rasta. My Jamaican sister, my Jamaican sister, right? She is a Rasta. So I give her the Jamaican status. But she gave us a scripture to look up, right? Because of the things that are going on right now. So I just want to come over here real quick because we're on that and how we could be so, silent. And I need y'all to understand some things when they're saying these people have let poor cry in their streets. I don't think y'all understanding who's been crying in whose streets and where and why things are happening in the way they're happening. Islam. So out of Matthew 10:34. Is it 10:24 or 34? What is it? Oh, it's 34.
And then, sister, it's funny because people got a little vexed at me for posting this yesterday, but it just jumped out to me that it's in Matthew 10 and 15. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah than in the day of judgment for that city. So we can
Oh,
come back to that later when we get to talking about the
no.
hot spots in the
Wait,
country.
because I'm trying to remember the one she gave us. Was it 34? 10:34?
It was definitely further down.
Oh, yeah.
So not that I am come 34.
Okay. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So when you think that it's coming to be peace on earth, no, I ain't got no peace because ain't nobody been living no peace with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
what are they talking about when you were just saying which one were you coming from? Because I want to make a point about California. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
got to understand what has happened there. What has really been going on there for a long time. Our people been suffering across this whole planet. Whole planet.
But that was up at 15, the same chapter.
Okay. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Wow, which city are I wonder what this they're talking. You think? Do you think that's referring to that? Where are you getting from that? You are Charlotte. Where y'all getting from?
You said
For me,
Matthew?
hmm
You said it's Matthew.
and if you go back at 5, it's
Okay.
not the city is and it's let me see. Okay, let me just read it. Where was I just at?
Was it Matthew 12?
10.
Matthew 10.
Okay, in 10 and 5, he says, these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So it's not really a city more than a symbolism for go to my people. Go to
Let
my
my people
people.
know.
And of course, I am. When I made this post yesterday, I was referencing on a micro level what's going on in California because that's where it started.
Started.
I'm picking on California because we all going to get touched by it in some type of way. But this is Babylon, is whatever you want to call it, Sodom and so in the likeness of Sodom and Gomorrah because of their disobedience. And Abraham pleaded. He said, well, God, if I find 30 good people, 20 good people, 10 good people, it wasn't 10 good people in the whole city of Sodom and Gomorrah. So God said, burn it. I'm about to burn it down because y'all infidels, y'all full of infidelity, rape,
Mhm.
different. Let me watch my language before they do something. But all of
Okay.
the greatest sins you can ever think of was all going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. So I think California just represents like a breeding ground for where they feed us this toxicity from. So I
Mhm.
can see why it started there, why the fire started
Exactly.
there, because it's a lot that has to be revealed starting even right there. And then because we know about things with the indigenous land, fire is purification. That land also got to get purified. You got to get those pretenders about the land. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it comes with casualties, and my heart goes out to that. But
Yes, it
the thing
does.
is,
Totally.
let all our will be done, because he's warned us over and over and over. And we send many prophets, not just one prophet, prophet after prophet after prophet after prophet after
Many
prophet.
people.
And
Many
we still
people.
ain't loving each other. And we still doing whatever we want to do.
Because we
And,
don't
and
love
those
them.
of us that sitting on this side of the country feeling safe, do not be deceived.
Not at all.
Mm,
Please don't. Don't even get it twisted. Because, baby, like I always say, it's at everybody's door. So it's no
mm,
man is beyond reproach. You got to understand what's really popping out. So we've been so disobedient to Allah's laws, whether it's coming biblically, whether it's coming out of the Holy Quran, whether it's coming out of the Quran of Mecca. Nobody is living what they claim they practicing. It's telling you, are we full of infidels? Is he just a full of infidels? Nas has a whole song about infidels.
mm,
And he straight started with, yea, though I walk through the valley of infidels.
mm,
Yea, though I walk through the valley of infidels. Right? Really, y'all?
really.
Our own has snatched us away, sold us off, sent us off, brought us back. However, but I was originally here with mine. And I'm sure my other sisters can vouch for saying, but at the end of the day, y'all, like we were here, we were everywhere. There wasn't a place we were not. And we just ain't been paying attention to the prophets that come before to give us a message. We don't pay attention to the forerunner to the prophets. We don't pay no attention to that when somebody comes and said there was a man on TikTok that kept telling them people that he looked homeless. He didn't look like he wasn't no Rick Ross. He wasn't no none of these celebrities that live out there that walk past them people every day up and down Rodeo Drive and all them other places that these people live lavish. He kept walking through the streets saying, y'all better leave California now. He's been saying that for months. I'm not kidding you.
Mm-hmm.
He said God told him that. Y'all think it's not written in these scriptures? It's in here. That's why people are afraid of it. Afraid of what? Too late to be afraid, baby. Because it's here, it's written. So if you have it, if you've ignored it for this time, you better believe it's in your hand. And it is what it is. So this is why you should have been working on yourself. You should have been getting things right. Brothers and sisters, women should have
Mm-hmm.
been so in love with themselves. You so in
Mm-hmm.
love with yourself, you fell out of love with who you fell out of love with. That's why I came out of that 1 and 2, saying like you done left your love. You left your first love. Your first love should be Allah in you. Your higher self should be your first love. And you leave your first love so you could go to and fro to see who you may devour. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It got everything to do with you. And they tricked our minds to make us think that we weren't responsible for our stuff and that we can put it on Jesus.
Yes, indeedy. Islam.
And we can put it on Jesus. You can't put it on Jesus. Don't want your mess. Why? I would. I mean, who?
Good.
No. Islam. Go ahead, Lashana. Would you like to say something? I don't want to be talking.
I'm just listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talking about stuff in the Bible. I don't be reading the Bible like that. So y'all teaching me some things tonight. So I'm listening.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Sister Shonda, did you want to make any point anywhere else out of here? Because we're going to go into the Circle 7. We're about to go
Yeah.
into the Holy Quran.
Right. Okay. One more thing while we're talking about what's going on in America is in Revelations 18, titled Babylon is Fallen.
Okay.
And it's starting at the first verse. And this is going to explain a lot what's going on. with just the all the anomalies we were about to see in America, and a lot of them are gonna um be natural occurring events, like with the elements, fire, water, air, earth being moved. So but verse 1 says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Ain't the earth lightened with the glory of Allah
Mhm.
right now? It's very illuminated.
It's very
And
illuminating.
he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon is the great fallen, is the fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings
Mm.
of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth were waxed rich with the abundance of her delicacy. And I heard another voice from the heavens saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sin, and that ye may receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached up to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much the torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plague mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her. Islam.
Islam. I need y'all to pay
Amen.
attention to that word fornication.
Mm-hmm.
Fornication. On means something. I sent you the meaning of that, Sister Shauna. On means something.
Yes, yes.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Californication.
Oh, stop it. Yes,
California.
yes. Right.
Californication. You've been
Yes,
doing
yes, yes.
fornication
Cali
on a sacred
fornication.
part of the land. Huh?
No, I'm trying to Cali fornication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where Fort, think of it. That place is wow. Have you ever been to LA?
No.
Have you been to LA before?
No, I've been to California, but not LA.
Okay, so you've been to California, but I've been to LA before. Let me tell you something. Do you know that no kidding, because I went with the ex that's from there. On one side of the highway is the C exit. On the other side of the highway is the B exit. And do you realize that separates the gangs, the C and the B?
No, it
I
don't.
was blown away. I was like, what is going on? Y'all set this up like this. They woke up
Wow.
like this.
So the Bloods is on one side and the Crips was on one side. That's how it was.
On the B exit side belongs to the B side. On the C exit side belongs to the C side. That's all I'm
This
gonna say.
the games they play, the
The
programming they
game
lay out.
they This is the way they laid out. They redline things. This is how they redline. They put our people in these conditions and these places. But these people that have put us in these conditions in these places are looking like us, y'all. They're looking a lot like us. It's called the paper bag theory. Not trying to be funny because I got people in my family can truly pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Me
saying?
too.
So, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted on what that means. Don't get it twisted at all. So you hear fornication, and I think California, because we're gonna get into who California really belongs to. That's why I said I had a whole conversation with this lady. I had a whole conversation. I don't know, lady, guy, whoever this AI person is. We had a whole
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I asked it some really deep questions. So we don't get to that. Okay, you want to continue? Did you want to continue, or that was it?
No, since that was it, because it's just the times, it's just letting us know, and it's not really again, like I said, just to totally shift the focus to California. That's just the gateway.
That's
That's
just
where
the
the
gateway,
entry
man.
of the wrath is starting to come in. Like so, it's gonna march all the way straight across this, and then it's gonna hit the world too. But America is the icon of Babylon. So when the
Mm-hmm.
scriptures here is saying Babylon is fallen, we are in this era of time right now where it's saying, We got the angel here. It's done lit the earth up. And the people in California will tell you that they had some very violent, unnatural wind around that time. So,
Yeah.
and then, I'm heavily into looking up at the stars and the planets and stuff, and those planets are lining up. Allah is talking through the universe right now, which he always does, but I mean, like literally, elementally speaking. And this is why the judgment is coming down. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of the fornication. So again, that spot is just a representation of the evilness, of the wickedness that goes on here, and the lands the way they've taken our lands and desecrated them, and then now we are participating in the
We're
desecration of
participating
our
in it.
own. Mm-hmm.
Islam, and they set it up to do that. Our own set it up to
Mm-hmm.
do be that way. If you go look up a movie that came out in January of 2023, it's called The Jones Plantation, and you can
Mm-hmm.
see exactly who was running the plantation. Because in Django, Samuel L. Jackson was running the plantation. You best believe they look like you, but they're not like us.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put me with them Moors, because that ain't me. I'm a righteous one. That's why the prophet always said, true Moors, dear Moors, faithful Moors. There were names for different ones. He knew his faithful Moors, he knew the dear Moors, he knew the true Moors, and he knew the Moors. Prophet Ali was a beast. Islam. I want to say something from chapter 17 to kind of camel back off of you. It says 17:5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon, the great mother of harlots, and abomination of the earth. So it could be from both sides, because this you got to see. There's not just borders down by Texas. There's borders all over this bad boy.
All over.
You're just not paying attention. You think
Mm-hmm.
your only focus is going that way. No, it's many other ways to come up in here. Islam,
Mm-hmm.
you got to
That's
look
right.
in all these areas to see what you need to see when it comes from this Bible. Start looking
Mm-hmm.
for because the prophets left their footprints clearly cut. There's no way that they didn't. They left their footprints clearly cut for everybody to know they went that way. They're not no block of wood like most of the people are. The infidels are a block of wood that is just pointing the way and ain't even trying to go that way. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that that's not their focus. That is not their goal. That is not, they don't feel that's their soul's purpose. Islam is to
That's
keep
right.
us, is to keep us in religious slavery, as they always have. Islam,
That's
are you
right.
mad? I really don't care. But anyway, there's a there's a seal on the forehead though of these indigenous people that I want to touch on before I get into the Khalifa situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it in Revelations? I'm gonna go to Revelations. I'm about to pick up the circle 7 in a minute, but I just wanted to show you where all this going on is even in your Bible. So nobody's speaking blasphemy, nobody's saying nothing bad, nobody's saying nothing wrong.
And
Nobody's
I
saying
think one of the reasons too it's important to include the Bible because they use the Bible to help govern the entrancement of our people here in the Americas. And then we have spent
nothing.
all these generations worshiping this book the way that they taught us to, and nobody ever even seen them. I'm not gonna say nobody did, but not enough of us are having the collective revelation about which part of this book is really actually prophecy versus the
Yeah.
things that were pumped in there to make us believe a certain thing about a savior. And it's like, here we are living in the time of revelation, and nobody can decode this because we've been so entrained with arguing about territories and was Jesus born and was Jesus real, and well, Jesus isn't the prophet Abraham. Well, our people are arguing over things that don't matter instead of the things that are in the instructions. Nowhere in there does the prophet Ali, Noble to Ali, nowhere in this Bible does Jesus say debate these mundane facts. That say get your heart right, get your relationship right with your brothers and your sisters, research yourself, and then he tells you if I'm coming, and when I show up, if you're not where you're supposed to be, then I'm gonna deal with you. And as far as the people that stole stuff from you, I'm coming to get it back too. That's why we
Yep.
see Jesus talking about you could come sit on the throne with me because there is a throne, there is a kingdom, and it's not no
Mhm.
sky daddy kingdom. There's a kingdom that's gonna be established right here in the earth. and we're
Yes,
going
it's
to
not.
be placed back in our rightful place. Well, those of us who can get there are going to be placed back in the
Yes,
position
yes,
that we
yes,
we should have been in, or just for
yes.
our nation to be reestablished. Not necessarily that a particular peak person is going to make it in or out, but it's important to know what time we in, because time is up. And if what's going on now in America ain't enough to tell us, it is time to connect and plan and build and get rid of stupid arguments and come from a place of love.
She said stupid argument. Yes,
Because
Yes,
it
hey,
is.
if it's not giving us you know, spiritual knowledge,
Understanding.
salvation, mm-mm. And I mean real salvation, not salvation on waiting on a sky daddy. I mean like know yourself, heal yourself, save yourself. Mm-mm.
In your mind, in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
yep, yep. Facts. That's such facts. That's such facts. That's beautiful, beautiful. I want to come out of chapter 7
Ooh.
am I right here? Hold on. I don't know why I'm in Matthew. Excuse me. Okay, I want to go chapter 5, 1 through 7 of Revelations. I want to touch on this real quick because we're
Okay.
talking about right hands. We talking about being the right hand of Allah because only
Mm-hmm.
two held their station. That's why we hold two up on the right. Only two held their stations. Only two. And in chapter 5, it talks about these two that held their stations.
Okay.
And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" Come through Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, "Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof." And I behold, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne.
Mm-mm.
Islam,
Islam.
It's,
Islam. Could you hear the prophet through there? He
I
loosed these keys for
I
us.
yes.
I seen the imagery of him standing there with his hand on that open book. Soon as you said who was worthy to open up the book, the picture he has with the open book on the table, like holy, holy, holy.
Oh, come through. Oh, signs and symbols. I'm telling you, signs and symbols are sent all around us, y'all. Signs and symbols are sent
Mhm.
all around us. Islam.
Islam.
Ooh, ooh, that's so good. Oh, geez, I had to. Yeah, I got a few. I apologize, y'all. This was some good stuff today. I've been
Well,
studying
Just
my butt
even
off.
read in chapter 10, well, Revelations 10.
Uh huh.
Revelation 10 is where you can also see the prophet. I was just skimming through that reading a little bit,
Okay.
where you can
Yeah.
see it's like the last prophet in these days also wrote a holy book, you know what I'm saying, for his fallen people, which is our circle 7. So Revelation 10,
Ooh.
when it says, "With one foot leaving the sea waters, out we come out of the Piscean age, and the other is planted upon the new era, which is now the Aquarian foundation, where man must travel by thought." So when you open up that little book of the 7 seals, the prophet returned the 7 seals to the Moorish through the grand national seals of the Moorish nation. That's
Is
mm-hmm.
that's
Islam.
the prophet,
Islam.
and you're right. He's right here. He's
So
right
you
here.
have
It
the
says it
7
right here.
seals is the 7 chakras of God's perfection would have been aligned with fixed within the human body. So everything is must be solved by man. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just one of the prophecies that I see when it
Islam. Come
when
in. Islam. Everything must be solved by man. It says, come in. It says right here, and I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. Don't it talk about how the prophet sits that his head is above the clouds? In the Holy Quran, there's a chapter about him talking about the heads are above the clouds, the prophets. Like that's you're right. This is all talking about the prophet right here. Prophet Noble Drew
Mm-hmm.
Ali, Islam. And he had it in his hand, a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth. What is it? He has what book in his hand? And what does he have in his hand that he's pulling up out of the cares of the world? And what y'all say? That only a portion of this movement. Excuse me? Do you know who the right hand of Allah really was? Y'all better get your life together. I'm gonna need y'all to understand who the real right hand of Allah was, because even with Jesus, his mama or his wife never left him. So y'all need to understand the real wife never left Allah. Islam,
Islam.
you might look at her as being evil if you want to. No, she ain't. She ain't evil. Not at all. So if this one said he had a book in his hand, a little book open, and he said 1 foot upon the sea and 1 foot on the earth, and cried with a loud voice is with when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered voices. Come on, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was not nothing to play with. These things were intentional.
Absolutely.
It's not a joke. Ooh, Bashira Islam.
Yes, that was a quick find. Like just skimming.
Yeah, because I don't know what y'all was reading at one point, so I was just going through it.
Wow.
I had to skim through it, and that's what I got out of that. In the angel of the little scroll. I mean, I go through Revelations, but this is actually I just wanted why I'm reading it. I'm reading out of my mother's Bible, and this was something that was highlighted, so that's why it caught my eye. So I just started reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me say this one. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Hold up, y'all. I am on that prophet's tea. Oh my God.
That bitter,
The bitterness.
Hey, take it and
The
eat it
what?
up, and it shall make thy belly bitter.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Bitter, honey. I'm going, what is this? I don't even eat. Well, how is anything? What is going on? I'm not trying to be funny, but come through. The prophet was also a healer. He made teas and compounds and bath salts and things to help us get healthy. So how would that be there too? He did that too. This was out before him. I mean, this is a serious collection of books for you to go through to get to that.
Right.
I know that's what you need to do.
y'all
He
can
said
dissect this
unto me,
whole.
my apologies, what'd you say?
No, I was saying y'all could probably dissect these whole revelations, and it's gonna all come out of prophecies where you can understand it when it's talking about what this what the movement is really about and how it's unfolding and how it all has, like she said before, this is Babylon and Babylon is fallen, and this is what's happening not only um to just our nation, it's happening amongst the whole world.
The world. All
Like this is
nations are
it's over. Like it's done. If it's done. Like it's done. Like there's I mean
finished.
it's a wrap.
Pretty much.
Basically, like there's none of this is real. Like none of this is going on. The government, we don't really have one.
Come
We have
on.
a president now. He's now the real president that we've had since when I say um,
2016.
uh who Bush. Barack Obama wasn't even a president. He was probably a sign, but he wasn't a president because he don't even have a birth certificate to be the president unless they
Yeah,
use that
true.
elite, the noble elite statuses of being the aristocrat of who he was, because that has a lot of play with that. When things get hard, they make us pull out ourselves to where when at that time it was going down to where the Wall Street, what was it? Everybody's money was getting taken from Wall Street.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, They
You
put
know
him in
that?
position for president to come and fix it, and he fell
Yeah.
for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
because we was about ready to go to war, because
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
economy was messed up. We was ready to go to war. It's like the economy, everything was messed up. You playing with people's money, you know. Basically, more inflation became about. So that's when they trying to defer everything. How giving away money, and they're doing that now. They're giving away so much money it don't make no sense,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But
and
it's
and
still
there's
yeah, it's
nothing
still,
for. Huh?
but you better hope you can hold on to it. The people that's getting it, you better hold on to it because it ain't gonna be. It's gonna go fast.
Baby.
It ain't gonna be as long as you think it is. So you better hold on to whatever you getting at this point.
You
Um,
better invest it in something to where you're gonna
you sure
continue to be
better.
able to make something out of it. Because if not, you hit.
Pretty
You're gonna
much.
be messed up. You're gonna be messed up.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Okay, so
Especially with the dissension we have amongst each other. Like we're not even close enough to be able to take care of each other. So we out here all on these
Mhm.
independent agendas and ain't prepared or need to be prepared if you can be. Or if you already are, I hope you are. But
well, most won't even be ready because they haven't been paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They pay attention to the wrong things. We've fallen in love so much with other stuff that we separated from our first love, and our first love should be Allah, the mother, the father, the father of the universe. That's what it says. Father of the universe. Mother is the earth. Mother Earth. You eat from her daily. You think this is not a woman's planet? It is. It's Mother Earth. It's a woman's planet. It has to shift back to its proper position, or it's gonna get tore up. This Lilith energy ain't playing. I promise you. I'm all in it. I'm all in it.
Uh,
So from out of Revelations, we could go into our circle 7. I'll break down some of this stuff. I just want to read real quick. I'm not going to take long because I want you guys to say something. But I want to bring out some things in this so we don't get too far. Because when I was going into it to look for us and figuring out why are they silencing the sisters so much? Why do they want women to be so quiet? Just
mhm.
makes me always wonder why. Why is no woman really running a temple? Why is it that you're only trying to get women to come get under you, Adam? Everybody don't want to be up under nobody.
Mhm.
You feel me? Lily, that's
Adam
why
was
she
the
got
first
this
trader
section
of
alone.
men.
Huh?
I said Adam was the first trader of men.
Come on.
Is wrong. Totally he
It's
was.
wrong.
First grader. He tried and us. He look, we will stay with Allah. But we're deemed evil because we stayed with Allah. So they create us as a character.
Uh-huh. In every way they can.
As a character. So I'm just gonna go right here because some people like they always think that we're those Moors that traded on us. And we're not because we're different ones, as you heard me say earlier here. And do you guys know what the Reconquista was?
No, what was that?
It was the Reconquista was a significant period in Liberian history, spanning from the
Hmm.
early 8th century to 1492. Yeah, to 1492. Key points: the 8th century to
So
1492.
1492. Are you saying is this is when this happened also, like the Spanish was also conquering. This is when
Hmm.
The Spanish conquered Spain, wasn't it?
More or less, yeah, yeah.
When the Moors conquered Spain.
1492. We were here. That's why that book before 1492, because most people can only
Okay.
start in 1492 of thinking of Columbus, but
Hmm.
Columbus wasn't even a Caucasian person. He was a conquistador. He was a part of them. He came over here as a little boy. If you go back and you look at the log of when they were coming back and forth, because we were always trading
I
with
have
each other.
that.
Always. So if you got the log, Columbus is on there as a different name. Rod always says the name too. If you go watch some of Rod's videos, Rod Hayes, he will speak his name. I just don't know it offhand, but whatever it is, it's gonna take you to someone that looks more like us. So he was always on the boat coming as a child. So when they came and they were like, who's the conclusion? Who's up? This is the way I'm playing it out as I was reading this stuff. I'm like, oh my God! So you mean they went back over there? Like, nah, but that's us. What you mean go and take? That's our people though. And they took those people out that was trying to stand up for us. And then Isabella and Fernando were the one that took them people out because they came and said, nah, them us. That's the more. You know what? Why would we go over there and do that? That's the way I looked at it. And I was reading into the story. I was like, wow, that's messed up. So it was our own people. No matter what, they were still us. They were still us. So what were you gonna say? So this one says, because I asked AI about it. I was like, well, what is the Reconquista? And he says the began around 718. Remember 711, we took over in 711. So the Reconquista began, huh? The Reconquista began around 718 with the Battle of the Covadonga, where Christian forces achieved their first victory over the Umayyad Caliphate. That's what I'm saying too, Caliphate, right? Caliphate. My fault. Key events over the centuries, several key battles and sieges took place, including the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa in 1212 and the Siege of Granada in 1492. The Reconquista concluded.
Your voice is low. Was it my phone?
Mom?
Yep.
Because I hear
Sister
everything
Shonda,
in
can
your
you hear her
background.
good?
Huh? I feel like I'm yelling. What you say?
I can hear her.
You can hear her good?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's my phone. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Reconquista concluded in 1492 with the fall of Granada. Pay attention. The last Muslim state of the Liberian Peninsula. The Moors in Liberian history, I'm going to say. Arrival. The Moors, primarily from the North Africa, begin their conquest of the Liberian Peninsula in 711, led by Tariq ibn Zayed. Okay, most people probably know this, right? Al-Andalus. They established the territory known as the Al-Andalus, which included most of modern-day Spain. I hear a lot of background noise. Let me see real quick, Shara. Okay, so I can start because I feel like I'm yelling over y'all. Um, um, they established the territory known as Al-Andalus, which included most of modern-day Spain and Portugal. Cultural influence. The Moors introduced new agricultural practices, architectural styles, and significant knowledge, leaving a lasting legacy on the region. The decline over the years, the Moors faced internal conflicts and pressure from the Christian kingdoms in the north, leading to their gradual decline. So I wanted to know, well, who is this Umayyad Caliphate?
Mm-hmm.
The Umayyad Caliphate was the second of the four major caliphates established after the death of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Here are some key points about the Umayyad Caliphate. And that's spelled Caliphate. So overview, the Umayyad Caliphate was founded in 661 by Mayu Awaye the first, who was the governor of Greater Syria. The capital of the Umayyad Caliphate was initially Damascus, which remained the center of their power until 750. The Umayyad Caliphate lasted until 750 when it was overthrown by the Abbasid, 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 Abbasid Revolution, right?
Mhm.
The Umayyads continued the Muslim conquest, expanding their territory to include parts of North Africa, the Iberian Peninsula, the Al-Andalus, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent.
Mhm.
The Umayyad Caliphates played a significant role in spreading Islam and Arabic culture across a vast area. They also oversaw a period of significant culture and scientific achievements, contributing to what is known as the Islamic Golden Age.
Mm. I like that.
Why don't you? The
Mhm.
Umayyads centralized authority within the Islamic civilization, making Arabic the official language of administration and creating an Arabized class of administration. There was a decline, though. The Umayyad Caliphate faced internal conflicts with revolts, including the Second Fitna, Second Muslim Civil War, and various tribal rivalries. The Umayyad Caliphate was eventually overthrown by the Abbasids in 750, but a remnant of the Umayyad dynasty survived in Al-Andalus, modern day Spain and Portugal, where they continued to rule until the 11th century. Right? So I asked who led this empire. Well, who led the empire of them? Who led this specific? You want to say something?
No, I'm listening, sis.
So who led the empire? I was like, well, who led this empire? The Umayyad Caliphate was led by several notable caliphs over its existence. Here are here are some of the key leaders. The founder of the Umayyad Caliphate, Mayu Awaya, was the governor of Greater Syria before becoming the first Umayyad Caliph. That happened from 661 to 680. And then in 680 to 683, the son of Mayua. So I'm trying to figure out, well, who is this Mayuawaya, the first?
Mhm. Right.
Because there's a son. This is the son. His reign was marked by the controversial battle of the Karbala.
Mm.
The Karbala, Karbala.
Almost sound like Kabbalah.
Yes, exactly. It did. That's what I said when I seen it. I said, whoa. So al-Malik was 685 to 705, known for centralizing the administration and making Arabic the official language of the empire. Al-Walid from 705 to 715, under his rule, the Umayyad Caliphate reached its greatest territory extent. So it's still more until 750. You got the Umar, the Hisham, and the Marwan,
Mhm.
right? I wanted to know, well, what does Caliph mean?
Right.
Caliph. The term Caliph, also spelled Khalifa, comes from the Arabic word Khalifa, which means successor or representative. In Islam history, a Caliph is considered the political and religious leader of the Muslim community. Are we paying attention? Acted as
Mhm.
the successor to Prophet Muhammad. The rule
Mhm.
of the Caliph includes political leadership. The Caliph is responsible for governing the Islamic State and ensuring the implementation of Islamic law. Religious authority. The Caliph serves as the spiritual leader of the Muslim community, maintaining unity and upholding Islamic principles. Who's the
Mhm.
infidel? Because I'm questioning y'all all of a sudden. Y'all
Mhm.
talking about this authority, and it's giving us authority from even back in this day. Caliph,
Mhm.
defender of the faith. The Caliph protects and promotes Islam, often leading military campaigns to defend and expand the Muslim territories. And Queen Khalifa was known she had some warriors. The first caliph was Abu Bakr, a close companion of Prophet Muhammad, who was elected as the leader of the Muslim community after Muhammad's death in 632. The caliphate system continued with the Rasidian caliphs, the Umayyad Caliphate, the Abbasid Caliphate, and other caliphates throughout Islamic history. The concept of the caliphate holds great significance in Islamic tradition, as plays central role in shaping the political and religious landscape of the Muslim world. So I said, what information do you have on Queen Khalifa? I just want to get through this so y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but I want to get to the point of why I came here.
Go ahead.
I said, what information you have on Queen Khalifa? This thing says Queen Khalifa, also known as Khalifa, is a fictional character from the 16th century Spanish novel Las Sagas de Espalindia, The Adventures of Espalindia by Garcia Rodriguez. Here are some points about origin. Khalifa is depicted as the queen of an island called California, which is described as being located near the terrestrial paradise. She is described as a beautiful, strong, and courageous woman with dark skin. Her kingdom is said to be inhabited solely by Black women who tame wild griffins to ride into battle. Khalifa raises an army of women warriors and sails to join a Muslim battle against Christians defending Constantinople. Constantine, I guess, whoever that was, right?
Yep.
Khalifa has been interpreted as a symbol of an untamed and bountiful land prior to European settlement. The name California is believed to have been derived from her character. She has also been depicted in modern day sculptures, paintings, and stories, often representing the spirit of California. I said, oh, yes. So they asked me, did I want something else? I said, yes. Is she the daughter of Lilith? This is me having a conversation with AI, y'all. I said, is she a daughter of Lilith? Queen Khalifa is a fictional character from a novel, and there is no direct connection between her and Lilith in that work. Lilith is a figure from Jewish mythology, often described as Adam's first wife, who was created before Eve. She is sometimes portrayed as a demon or a symbol of female independence and power. Khalifa and Lilith belong to different cultural and mythical traditions. Khalifa's story is a part of a Spanish literary work, while Lilith's origins are found in ancient Jewish texts and later folklore. However, both characters share a common theme of powerful, independent women in respective narratives. He asked me if I'm interested in more details. Ask them. Y'all have anything to say before I continue?
No, sis, I'm listening. Go ahead, keep going.
I said, why is it every time it describes a Black woman, you call it a character? But if I say a different land, you make it sound like it's true. This is what it said to me. I see your point, and I apologize if it came across that way. The reason I refer to Queen Khalifa as a character is because she is indeed a fictional creation from a literary work. Her story and attributes were invented by the author, Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo. In contrast, historical figures and events like the Moors of the Umayyad Caliphate are well documented in historical texts and evidence, which is why I describe them based on historical facts. I understand the importance of recognizing and celebrating the diverse histories and cultures of all people, including those of African descent. If there's a specific history figure or event related to Black women you're interested in, I would be happy to provide information based on historical records. Your feedback is valuable, and I'm here to learn and improve. I said, how do you know that you were there? I said, how do you know? Were you there to make that the truth? That's why I asked.
You be talking. I'm like, you teaching me how to use AI, sis.
This thing say, I understand your skepticism. Historical knowledge comes from various sources such as written records, archaeological findings, and scholarly research. Historians and researchers work tirelessly to place together past events using these sources to provide us with a reliable account of history. That said, it's always helpful to question and seek multiple perspectives. History is complex, and while we strive to understand it as accurately as possible, new discoveries can sometimes change our understanding. If there's a particular event or figure you're curious about, we can explore the sources and evidence available together. I said, okay, I am Khalifa, because why is there a California? And right before you just described a period of the caliphs. It says, it's fascinating to think about the connections between names and histories. The name California indeed has an intriguing origin. As I mentioned earlier, Queen Khalifa is a fictional character. Y'all, I'm cracking up at this right? So it goes back to saying the same thing. Inspired California was inspired by her name. So Caliph, coincidental in this context, the term Caliph refers to the leader of the Islamic community and is derived from Arabic word Khalifa, meaning successor. Okay, leader, successor. Does that make a difference? I just was wondering. Am I tripping?
Right. No.
Okay.
The successor?
I mean successor. What I say? Leader of the Islamic community, successor. They say Khalifa, meaning successor, but Caliph refers to the leader of the Islamic community. Come on. The same?
Yes.
Huh?
That's the same, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm like that. Well, that don't sound right. I said, well, she is not fictional. Then someone lied. I said, she is not fictional. Then someone lied to you, buddy. He said, I get where you're coming from. It's important to explore and question the stories we've been told. So he goes back to saying that about Queen Khalifa again. The legends and myths often contains elements of truth and cultural significance. Even if the characters themselves are not historical figures, they can reflect the values, beliefs, and aspirations of the societies that created them. Do you have any other stories or legends you're curious about? I'm here to dive into them with you. I said, that does not make that fact. See, you must understand that truth never changes or passes away. I've been here many lives, and I am Lily. Khalifa is my daughter. That is truth. What?
Right. Put that on the record.
I understand that personal beliefs and experience can shape our understanding of truth. The stories of Lilith and Queen Khalifa have deep cultural and symbolic significance, and it's fascinating to hear your perspective. While historical and fictional accounts are often based on written records and scholarly research, personal and cultural narratives hold their own importance. They can provide a rich and meaningful context that transcends conventional history. Asked me, is there anything else I want to engage in? I said, yeah, history is his story, not mine. And my children, we are the mystery, not fiction at all. It said, oh, I appreciate your perspective. The idea that history often reflects the dominant narratives of those in power is an important consideration. Many stories, especially those of marginalized communities, can be
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a confession to me.
Huh?
I said that sounds like a confession of some twisted history.
It does.
Exactly. Just by the way you're talking to it. That's why I say you're smarter than this machine. You can't let it be smarter than you. You feel me? So because you always have had to ask Google a certain way to get a certain answer. So now AI is making more sense to me. You got to ask it a certain way to get a certain answer. So now I'm like, well, let me have a conversation with this person. Let me see what's really going on. So he says your connection to Khalifa and Lilith speaks power of personal and cultural narratives. These stories can carry deep meaning and significance that transcend conventional historical accounts. Recognizing and honoring these narratives is essential in understanding the diverse tapestry of human experience. If you have any other insights or stories you would like to share, I'm here to listen and engage with you. Your perspective adds a valuable dimension to our understanding of history and culture. I said, so allow me to reintroduce myself. He says, absolutely. I would love to get to know you and your story better. Please go ahead and tell me more about yourself and your unique perspective, whether it's your past, present, and your vision for the future, I'm all ears. Your narrative is important, and I'm here to listen and engage with your truth. Let's dive into your story together.
Goodness. It's literally learning from you. It's cross referencing
Yeah.
everything that you're saying to it, and it's adding that to the database. Now, like you said, now it has a new bit of information that if a person asks a specific question, it might be a little bit easier to access. You oh goodness. Mm-mm-mm.
And all that was coming off of Khalifa, but you're telling me California was named after a fictional character. That doesn't make sense.
Oh.
It doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. And then you're telling me at the same time that Khalifa means successor. The Kallifa means successor, but the Caliph would be Khalifa in context because they just spelled it differently. You're telling me that means leadership of the Islamic community. So why
Yeah.
y'all supposed to be there? Because Californication. Listen what I'm saying.
Mhm.
California, Khalifa, that's Queen Khalifa's territory. I just told you she had a women warriors. It was all woman place.
Amazon.
Black woman. They said, oh, because she was dark skinned. So you're calling her a fictional character because she was dark skinned? I'm confused.
Hmm.
We're not
Interesting how you can
fictional.
even put a complexion on a fictional character.
Fictional because that's fictional. That's fictitious. Black is fictitious.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
see how they write us away? How easily they can take that pen and be like, "This it. We just put that there because they ain't gonna pay attention. We're gonna say
Mm-hmm.
she fictional because we know black don't exist in law. We know black ain't real for real. That's why the
Mm-hmm.
prophet said, "You are not black, Negro, colored, or Ethiopian." For these are the names that they gave the slaves in
Mm-hmm.
1779, and it lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. Do we really know who we are? Because I swear somebody lying to us, and somebody don't think that this movement belongs to the sisters, and it do, because the prophet was trying to leave it strictly to us. Why is he on the front of this doggone 101 with the sister in his arms? Why did the Bible just tell us that the prophet had one foot on the doggone rock of salvation and the other one was in the water? Why are these things coming together like this, but it still ain't raising the woman back up to her proper place when you're on Mother Earth? Why is the higher self, the higher virtues, is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life
Mm-hmm.
that do justice, mercy, love, and right? Why? And y'all trying to tell me that this ain't for us because y'all don't want to
Mm-hmm.
raise us up to our proper position because it takes your ego away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It takes your
Mm-hmm.
ego away. You can't use your ego to dictate and run nobody and control nobody no more. The truth is here, so it don't even matter. You can be mad, upset. Oh, nobody's coming for me because all I got to do is call on my five: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I go right back to the law. Allah always gonna cover me because I
Islam.
understand my position and what I came back for. I just told this computer, you're telling a lie. I know who I am. You don't know who I am, and I'm not about to let you sit here and tell me my story. That's his story.
Islam.
That's his story. And I'm tired of men holding us down and keeping us quiet. Keeping us quiet. Look at them hands over them faces, painted on them faces. Always wanting to keep the sisters quiet. Not to say there's no good brothers out here. There's many good brothers out here. But
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you, the ones that are standing in the way, I'm starting to question who y'all really are.
Come on. And the evidence is in the fruit that we are bearing right now. Because the narrative is saying that the reason that we're not where we're supposed to be as a people is because we won't bow down and let them put their foot on our necks. But it's because, just like the prophet said, don't bow down and prostrate in prayer. I'm not supposed to bow down and prostrate to you either, brother. I am your reflection. I am your reflection. I am your strength opposite. And I need to be next to you, not up under you, not behind you. I'm not supposed to be above you. I'm supposed to be right there with you. And until they let us rise back up to our rightful place, is going nowhere. But guess what? The universe then said, "Yeah, it don't even matter no more."
It don't.
Mm-mm.
It don't. The universe is speaking all of this, y'all. The universe is
Um,
doing exactly what it's supposed to. What you say, Sister V? Hmm? Did she say
I,
something?
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Oh, all right. It's on.
You went
So
back
I do want
back
to
to
be. I don't
love.
want to keep you on that much longer because I know y'all probably tired. But I just want to touch on some points out of this circle 7 too, because I know we're all very familiar with this. And I want Vashira. Where did she go? It must have dropped her again.
And
I
it took
want
her
her
off
to kind
again.
of come in and we camel back off of each other out of this circle 7, so you can really see when we're
Mm-hmm.
coming out of Revelations how we can go back into our circle 7 to verify a lot of stuff. So the prophet was very intentional with the Holy Quran of the Moorish
Yes,
Holy Temple of
ma'am.
Science and the Moorish Science Temple of America. Very intentional with
But
what he
that's how
was
you know it.
doing. Hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
But that's what makes it so truth. It
What's
is
wrong?
the truth because when you make, that I'm not going to say you're measuring it up against other things. You don't really do that with the truth, but you're not going to find it contradicting truth anywhere. The
No.
pattern, when you take the circle 7 and you look at other spaces where this truth is encoded, you were able to see, okay, Revelations is talking about this, and like it was telling us there was one to come that was going to bring this word back to us. And I agree, and we all know that was a Noble Drew Ali. And so
Hmm.
I love the way that no matter where you take the truth is going to verify the truth.
The truth is always going to be the truth. Truth never changes or passes away, literally. And if you know the truth, you're going to find it. One of my
Hmm.
teachers, Brother John, always tell me, when you pick something up and start reading, if you don't see the prophet in it, put it down. Like if you can't verify something that the prophet and that has never, like I promise you, every time I can pick it up, it could be from anyone. If it's from one of these scholars that know anything about the prophet Noble Drew Ali, something is gonna be reflecting him totally. I
Hmm.
don't care if I go Bobby Hemmett, I don't care who I could go to one of those, and I promise I'm gonna find stuff from Prophet Noble Drew Ali in these texts and in what they're saying, so I can refer back and forth to say, oh, and then I can go and research for myself and see that I can put a receipt on that. That's what I love about Rod Hayes. I said I have 40 notes from that doggone thing, y'all. 40 notes from that live. And I'm like, wow, and I'm looking up stuff and I'm like, wow, that's what made me start digging into the caliphs. That's what started making me dig into it. So out of the circle 7, Vashira, did you want to say something? Because I want to start coming from out of here so we can bounce off of this real quick.
No, go
Not real
ahead.
quick.
I'm drawing from you. I'm traveling with you.
Islam. All right. So out of because this is gonna come back from what Sister Shonda just said, but it's keeping definitely in text with what we're talking about. So
Hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming out of chapter 19. Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Vivana in India, to the Magian priest in Persia. 3 wise men speak in praise of the personality of the Nazarene. So in chapter 19 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, I'm going to go to 24 and I'm going to read to 27. And when the silence ended, Casper said, a master from the royal council of the silent brotherhood is here. Let us give praise. And all of the priests and masters stood and said, all hail, what message from the royal council do you bring? And Jesus said, my brothers of the silent brotherhood, peace on earth, goodwill to men. The problem of the age has been solved. A son of man has risen from the dead, has shown that human flesh can be transformed into flesh divine. Before the eyes of men, this flesh in which I come to you was changed with the speed of light from human flesh. And so I am the message I bring. To you I come, the first of all, the race, to be transmuted to the image of Allah. What I have done, all men will do. What I am, all men shall be. But Jesus said no more. In one short breath, he told the story of his mission to the sons of men, and then he disappeared. The Magi said some time ago, we read this promise. now fulfilled upon the dial plate of heaven. And then we saw this man who has just demonstrated unto us the power of man to raise from carnal flesh and blood to flesh of Allah, a babe in Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
And after many years, he came and sat with us in these same groves. He told the story of his human life, of trials, sore temptation, buffeting, and woe. He pressed along the thorny way of life till he had risen and overthrown the strongest foes of Allah and man. He is now the only master of the human race whose flesh can be transmuted into flesh divine. He is the God man of today, but everyone of earth shall overcome and be like him, a son of Allah. Islam,
Islam.
would you like to say anything off of that, or Camelback anything off of that? Because this is this is before we this is before he these events occurred before he was 30 years of age, and the events of he after he had risen from the dead, he appeared back to India, Europe, and Africa in the land of Egypt and made himself known unto the world. These events are the 18 years which are absent in your holy Bible.
You said it's absent.
Yes.
Absent.
And we just
Ab-
let that slide.
This is absent from our holy Bible.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons, like they the way that the Christian church idolizes Jesus, and I'm trying to be careful not to offend anybody, but he's idolized that way because we take away from his experiences and his learning and the things that he went through in his life that were here and practical. The things he did to save himself, to learn himself. We skip all of that. And it's like a child was born, then he's 12, then he disappears, comes back at 30, and then now he's divine, and we need to know that it's work to be done in between there. And, yes, he was an exalted being amongst where many of us are now, especially being ensnared in this world, but he definitely lived a journey before in between that time and traveled through many provinces, sat with the sages everywhere and learned and put it into practice and taught
Mm-hmm.
the things. And I just think that being left out the Holy Bible was intentional, divisive, and a detriment.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Sister Bashira, would you like to say anything?
Not necessarily, no.
All right.
Mm-mm. Were we talking? We said
Mhm.
you read out of chapter 24. Jesus came and sat with them, and a crown of light was on his head. Mhm. This is a hard. This is the chapter I have not dissected yet. I was reading it. It's talking about he comes back fully materialized. So it's saying that he's come back ready to demonstrate out the law because he's been through all the multitudes of lessons, and he has now been perfect. Well, would you consider him to be already perfected man?
Yes, of course, I would.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Once this is chapter, once he says like he appears fully materialized to the eastern stages in the palace of Prince, so he's already been through all the different stages to where he's
Oh,
able
he's
to
already
teach.
been through that. This is when he got. This is when he comes back. This is where the resurrection has to be a fact. You have to believe in resurrection to even understand what being materialized is. He was already gone. Remember, they had already put him. They drove him to Calvary. He had already hung on the cross. They had already
Mhm.
put him in the tomb. At this point, so when he gets to the fully he has a part where he fully materializes in chapter 17. Jesus appears fully materialized before Apollo and the silent brotherhood in Greece. Then he appears, this is another time, he appears to Claudius and Juliet on Tiber near Rome. Then he appears to the priests in the Egyptian temple at Heliopolis. Then the resurrection of Jesus, polite places the Roman seal. All that goes on. And then here he comes
Mhm.
again, Jesus fully materialized again to the Eastern sages. So This is where you don't know. Do you recognize the prophet? That's why the prophet said, how will you know me when I come back? But remember, he said he was going to be wearing a bigger shoe and a bigger collar. He asked them, they said, oh, because you got a burn on your body. That's what most of the Moors said. But he specifically gave specific instruction because, as Shonda said, they went around to look who had a heart pure enough to go into. He couldn't go back to be a baby to come back again. He had to find someone quick because we were so in such a messed up state of mind that he couldn't do that. He didn't have enough time to teach us anything. He only had time to introduce this to us. We don't get it. We don't get it. He said 50 years before you know what I left you, and it'll be 50 more. It'll be 50 years before you know what I left, and 50 more years before you learn it. Because you ain't gonna know how to go in the Bible to dissect it. How will you know how to dissect this if we ain't eating from it every day to really learn and study it and it becomes a part of us? It makes our belly bitter.
Mm-hmm.
To where it makes our belly bitter.
Mm-hmm.
This is why this is in the way it is. So we got duty. Everyone has a duty. All of us have a duty. You're right. It's much work to be done. Much for everybody. Not some of us, all of us.
Oh. And it requires more than just reading to each other. Like, we literally have to put this into practice because that's why all these egotistic arguments are going on, because we want to be the one with the word instead of being the one living the word.
Living the word. Yes. Because remember, the word started with a thought. The thought became what the word started here. That thought became what? Breath, and then it became the written, then it became the living. We be forgetting it had steps before it became living.
Mm-hmm.
We just think because it's right there, we just think living only, not realizing there was a resurrection happening even through the mind and everything unfolding. There's a resurrection going on there. Resurrection, you got to realize spirit moves. Spirit don't stay stagnant. Are you serious? Like you're trying to put a lie in a box. Like you would box in water. Like, you know, it's like, oh, you can fill a glass up with water, but if you pour it on the ground, you can't contain it. So that's why you shouldn't try to even understand a lie in that way. Because you can't contain that. That's a lie. Islam.
Islam.
So now chapter 22. Where it's about duty of a husband, right? And in chapter 22, I'm going to go to 5 through 12. It says, oh, cherish her as a blessing sent to thee from heaven. Because I just came from where we talked about these being these events. You know, he's giving instructions for young men. But I'm coming over here because I want to tell y'all how important these sisters are to this. And how the brothers have to stand up no matter what. You should be a husband anyway. It don't mean you got to be with that person. You should have a husband's state of mind and heart to show up for a sister. Not looking for her based off of whatever you looking for. So you should cherish her as a blessing sent to thee from heaven. Let the kindness of thy behavior endure thee to her heart. She is the mistress of your house. Treat her, therefore, with respect, that thy servants may obey her. Oppose not her inclination without cause. She is the partner of thy cares. Make her also the companion of thy pleasures. Reprove, but you got to pay attention to what's being said. The companion. Ain't say slave. Ain't said none of that.
At all.
Lay up under me all day. Get up under me. You belong to me. I own you. That's not what that says.
The word says partner too.
Exactly, partner. Because Lilith was Adam's partner. Excuse me.
Partner.
Oppose not her inclination without cause. She is the partner of thy cares. Make her also the companion of thy pleasures. Reprove her faults with gentleness. Exact not her obedience with rigor. Trust thy secrets in her breast. Her counsels are sincere. Thou shalt not be deceived. Allah trusts us for counsel.
Oh,
He trusts
holy.
us to have children. If he didn't trust us for counsel to help counsel y'all, that's why he says the woman has to heal first so we can assist the brothers in healing.
Holy. Sis, can you read
Because
that again? It said, trust her. Her counsels are what?
her counsels are sincere.
Sincere. Mm-hmm.
Sincerity is the first degree of this. Sincerity is
Uh-huh.
the very first degree in this thing, in this science. Sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have sincerity first.
Mm-hmm. Islam.
So trust thy secrets in her breast. Her counsels are sincere. Thou shalt not be deceived. Be faithful to her bed, for she is the mother of thy children. When pain and
Holly,
sickness
what?
assault her. Huh?
Oh, did I hear the word faithful?
Uh-huh. Be faithful. Right.
I just want to make sure you ain't say polygyny. That's all.
No
Oh my.
polygyny. Be faithful to her, because if it was polygyny, it would say be faithful to them in their bed, for they are the mother of your children. That's what it would say if it was some polygamy going on anywhere in these texts. It wouldn't be specifically saying be faithful to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because when pain and sickness assault her, let thy tenderness soothe her affliction. How have you got all these women going on? You can't soothe no one woman's affliction. Because you
Come
don't even know how
on.
to pay attention to your woman half the time. You don't even know she be going through stuff in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
look from thee of pity and love shall alleviate her grief, or instigate her pain and be more avail than 10 physicians. Consider the tenderness of her sex, the delicacy of her frame, and be not severe to her weakness, but remember thy own imperfection. Because a brother would sure try to come out my post come out. Oh well, if the woman wouldn't have looked back, if y'all stop looking back, we might not. Excuse me, huh? Did you remember your own imperfection, brother? And he took his
Mm-hmm.
whole comment off of my post after I came back for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Because
was
they
the
don't
last
know what
And
to
he's a
episode.
do.
Moor. And he's a Moor. He's a Muslim. He's a Moor. And I know he said hi. Probably is a
All
sheik in
Moors,
himself.
all
But
Moors
what
are
you want to
Muslims.
tell me? Huh?
I said all Moors are not Muslims.
All Moors are not Muslims. What did you say, Bashir? All Moors are not Muslims. All Adabs are not Sheiks. All Sheiks are not Adabs. Keep going. What you say again?
Come on. Come on.
So serious, but like I was just wanting to come back what you said when you said about sincerity is the first thing that you said that the first instruction that we have to employ
Mm-hmm.
That's the
with
first. That's our
sincerity.
first step in the degrees of this science. It's sincerity. You got to gain
So if
sincerity in your
you
life.
have a sincerity, a lot of them don't know how to have sincerity because they still, it says in sincerity, it says he is consistent with himself. So if you're not sincere with yourself, you're not consistent with yourself. If you have not went through these foes and you're trying to learn from it and employ it amongst yourself by knowing thyself on how you want things done for yourself and how it works for your better good, how are you going to be able to be faithful to anyone's bed? How are you going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, speak to her with inclination without cause?
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to know. So before you a man before he comes a husband, literally, he has to become a husband mentally and know what to do. So you won't have to be repeating. You don't have to tell him. He's supposed to know. He's coming to find you. The man
Mm-hmm.
comes to find a wife. So if you're coming to find a wife, that means you're ready and you're already a husband.
That's
And so
wrong.
I can be in my natural state as a woman, a wife, a mother to help you as your helpmate, your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's supposed to be. A lot of ones get in tune and get into something that they're not even ready for,
It's
you know.
wrong.
So you have to look at that too. So, and they look at that, and a lot of women look at in chapter 21. Yeah, that's all love and light, but in some token, I'm not submitting to any of that. I'm not doing none of that. If you ain't showing me nothing to do, I'm gonna do it
It's
for
wrong.
myself, but I'm not gonna do it for show or no validation or anything. Like I'm not doing that. But I'm gonna always stand in that statue of being a wife with my characteristics on how I carry myself.
Mm-hmm.
and be
Islam.
on my post and stay ready. You know what I'm saying? And conduct myself as such. So therefore, you know, I'm ready. But the men don't be they not I'm ready. You may not be ready. And I
But
don't,
I'm
you know what I'm
ready.
saying? Like, you can have to tell them what to do. Now we can go over these lessons and we can get to and build, but we gon' that's where it yields at. Don't try to take up on anything that you know that you're not ready to take up on, because that's just something serious. You know, that's a
Mm-hmm.
serious plea that you're going to taking upon a wife.
Islam.
Islam.
That's yeah. So whenever you have that sincerity when it comes to you, you don't they don't know themselves in that way. So they
Mm-hmm.
become a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? You become a hypocrite.
Islam. It is
Mhm.
interesting that they they deem themselves worthy to be in a position of a leader, and you're not a husband. But the thing, you're not a mature husband, but where are you leading me to then? Because you're not leading me in the ways of noble true Ali. You're not leading me in the ways of Allah. So why am I allowing you to lead me then? No, I have to honor Allah. I have to honor the instructions of
Facts.
the Prophet.
And
Um,
you do too. The
mm-hmm,
man does, the men do too as well. And it all starts at home. If you ain't not able to lead at home, how you gonna be able to try to lead a nation?
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
Because that's what it's all about.
Islam. Islam.
That's just how I see
Islam.
it.
Islam. So that
You
goes
know,
into
if you're not leading right at home, it all starts at home. So how you gonna get out here and lead a nation?
Mm-hmm.
you won't be able to. You won't be able to. So that's why even that, and that's good. This is going to camel back off of what you're saying, Sister Bashara. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 23, Holy instructions for thy children. I'm gonna go to verse 7, and then I'm gonna talk about what sincerity is in here, because this is holy instructions for thy children. So you got to teach the children. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
our brothers are like children, you know, and we like we
Yeah, we
children
are the
too.
children.
Yeah. The soil is thy own. Let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, thou also shalt thou reap. That's all of us. That's any of us.
Yep.
Woman, sister, brother, don't matter. But the soil is our own. Even they're not even just saying that specifically, like as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But the soil, even this land, is our own. We should not let it want cultivation. The seed that you sow within this earth, the seed that you sow with on Mother Earth, because this is Mother Earth, the matriarchal planet.
Yes, ma'am.
That same seed, you're gonna reap what you sow. So you gotta make sure you take care of it.
We
I'm gonna go down to
exactly.
11. Teach him. Would you say?
No, Sister Father.
Okay. So in 11 it says, "Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own heart shall not reproach him." See,
Mm-hmm.
sincerity is important. That sincerity is important even to be a husband. Because in sincerity, you're going to obey Allah first. And with you obeying Allah first and living his principles and living these lessons and applying them to your life, and you being that example, then your wife don't have no problem obeying you
Islam.
and taking care of the children and the household and all the duties of the household, because she sees you being a stand-up man and you're walking in the path of the prophet. You're imitating the prophet. You're imitating his spirit. You're not imitating his carnal self. He was still a man, but you're supposed to be
Islam.
doing the way he left you as instructions, not what he looked like on the outside. Because you could dress anything up to make it look good, but that don't mean it's good. Islam,
Islam.
you like to say anything on those points? We got one.
Mhm.
It's like a little pun on the word, but I really want to. I do want to do an etymological study of it, because
Mm-hmm.
it just keeps jumping out in my spirit that the
Sin.
first three words of sincerity is
Sin.
sin. Yo, you know,
I just thought about that when you were
What do
saying
you have on it? What do you like when you think of sincerity? Do you think I think of the heart
yes, yes,
and the
and
nearest
the
place that
only
people
true
meet our mind is the
sin,
heart, and that's
and the only
true.
real yes, the sin against yourself. You ain't knowing self. You not putting yourself in a position to follow Allah. And then now your family is suffering because of your disobedience, brother.
Mhm.
So you got to follow Allah. You follow Allah, you put the woman back in her rightful role, and then the children, the seeds, are now going to grow up in the order that they should grow up in. But there is no other order. There's no other order. Like you said, we need to all. You said in the beginning, we all have an assignment. We all have a purpose. We all have a post that we're supposed
Mhm.
to do.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, we
So
do. And I
we're
think we
committed.
need
So
to kind of follow our own assignment and quit trying to be equal. Because we're not
Islam,
equal at all.
Islam,
You know what I'm
Islam.
saying? We don't have to be equal. I don't want to be equal with you. You know, I don't want to be equal. I'm me, you're you, you're you, you're you. Just stay in your
yeah.
lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane, and we gonna do what we're supposed to do. And we gonna meet up at the end, and we gonna be ready to execute. That's all. That's how I see it when it comes to certain things. Stay in your lane. I stay in my lane because sometimes you do best without having any other distractions when you're not around like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get this
Islam.
message, and then you get your portion. I got my portion. You have your portion. We come and bring this into fruition and bring it together. Like it's just kind of like not be considered to be an equal when it comes to you on this journey. You don't want to be an
Islam.
equal.
It's harmony is what we need.
Islam.
Yes, it's
Islam.
exercising the five principles, and everyone has the right to do so. We don't all have to agree. But we have to, you can expect your measure of understanding of where you're coming from because, hey, I can probably build off of what you're saying. You can probably build off of what I'm saying. That's all I bring it to the table, respectively.
Islam.
You
Exactly.
know, we can agree to not, or disagree respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Let's come up with another
Islam.
solution. But, time is of the essence of now to where we don't have a lot to be really talking about.
We don't. We got work to do.
Islam. Got
We
work
have
to
work
do.
to do. Literally, we don't have time to be doing none of that. That's why even I know this is a lengthy one, but that's why even in this Holy Quran, these chapters and these verses are important to the times right now because this is
Islam.
happening right now in real time. So it's very important. And if it ain't right, and if it ain't returned back to who it's properly supposed to return to in the
Islam.
correct way, and the brothers don't get it together, this whole place could go. That's how Allah
Islam.
Because
feels about
no
it.
one is
Whole place
talking about
could go.
economics.
Huh?
It's we are in poverty, and there shouldn't be a reason why we are in poverty. And
Islam.
it was all constructed for us to be in poverty. So it goes back to it be your own people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Put you
Your
back in
own
slavery.
people
You
that
understand what
put
I'm
you
saying?
back
There's
in
no
place.
reason if you have traced yourself back in, connected yourself back with the nations of this earth land. We shouldn't be in poverty.
No.
There's no reason why we should be in poverty.
But also what I feel like where people get this information twisted, most people, they look at Moors and then they look at us and they see us and they're also thinking that we're the ones that did whatever popped off. And we didn't, because if we know these lessons, we know we're not the infidels. We're the true
Islam.
Moors. We're the faithful Moors. That's what we do know. I know I'm faithful. I love the prophet. I love Allah. So I ain't think about none of these brothers and nothing they got going on with themselves. You know what I'm
Islam.
saying? My
It's
commitment
not
and my
more so
loyalty
just
is
the
to my best
brothers.
love.
It's the women. It's a lot of our sisters too that don't have the. It's some strong sisters out here, and I've been seeing them come up on the scene like for real, like more so than ever now. I mean, just saying. Um, I've been seeing them demonstrate a little
Mm-hmm.
bit stronger
That's
and getting a
good.
better understanding and having strength, bringing that wisdom. I guess taking their power back. But the ones that
Islam.
are just sitting still and allowing things to happen, that's our responsibility too. We no
Yes, it
longer
is.
can just sit around and allow our brothers to move in a certain way where it's making us feel some type of way, and we got to get out the emotion where we have to talk and sit down and speak to them as an equal. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yes,
can't
it
allow them to continue to keep veering off when it comes to this movement if we're trying to unite within an allegiance of brother and sisterhood. it won't work like that, because at the end of the day, there's no anything anybody saying that something is a government. It's not a government. It's not. This it's like a it's not no government.
It's
This is not even
fictitious.
a government.
It's fictional.
This is let me be real. This is not even he to get it so we can be a part and parcel of the United States of America Republic government.
Right.
We're supposed to be a part, you know what I'm saying? Because the states is the people.
Yes.
The corporation
Exactly.
is where we doing business with them,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
allowing them to. We're allowing them to do business. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing business. They're over the business part, but our people are not sitting in them chairs to make the changes that we need.
No, I
It's nobody of our nation, of our tribe is sitting in them chairs.
yeah,
So
No,
it's
they
not
can just be
doing
arguing
any
on
business for
paper.
us. The business is
mm-hmm.
not getting done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. It's that ego place. They're debating one another from that ego place and not holding each other accountable. And I think sisters, we could be more stronger in that area too. But I am seeing us do it more than ever. We are starting to, like, we're sitting here having this growing conversation, this building, fruitful conversation now, and not arguing over names and titles and things that don't profit us. We're talking about edification of the family, edification of our nation, and that's where our brothers got to shift the narrative instead of playing who gonna sit at the top like the Dirty Moors did. That's why we got Dirty Moors at the top now, because rather than be one and lead our nation and our families, well, let me say the families and the nation, because they got to get it right with the family first. That's why we ain't going nowhere.
So go ahead. No, I
No,
want to
go
make a
ahead.
point.
Go ahead.
Something you said, it's taking me back to what Rod said. He said that's why we sit at round tables. We don't sit at square tables
The
because ain't nobody
squares.
the head of nothing. Ain't nobody the head of
Exactly.
Ain't
nothing
nobody at the
around here.
head. I just watched that part last night. Says ain't nobody at the
Exactly.
head. And I know in
Nobody
the
at
temple that
the
I did go to, they did all sit in a circle. It's
head.
you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is equal. We all sat in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
Yeah.
nobody standing in front of a podium. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's like we in church, it wasn't none of that
Exactly.
going on. It was in an all circle. And that's one thing I can say that I did like that. You know what I'm saying? That was a good energy example of what
Okay.
they was trying to do, but I just wasn't feeling the energy of even being in that circle. But as far as how
Okay.
they did it, it was very, I like the idea of what they was trying to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
Yeah.
Islam. So you ready? Y'all ready?
Islam, go
Hold
ahead.
on, I can't hear you.
You can't. You are
It's
loud.
every time somebody calls my phone, it goes low.
Oh,
Hold
turn up the
on.
volume. Turn up the volume on the side. That's all it did. It just took and then takes her away. Okay, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna come out of here because funny we talking about tables right now.
Islam.
So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 27, the holy unity of the rich and poor. I'm gonna start at 7.
Islam.
He considers the superfluities of his table as belonging to the poor of his neighborhood, and he defrauded them not. That's why this table should be circular. The
Mm-hmm.
benevolence of his mind is not checked by his fortune. He rejoices therefore in riches, and his joy is blameless. But woe
Islam.
unto him that heapeth up wealth in abundance, and rejoices alone in the possession thereof, that grindeth the face of the poor, and considereth not the sweat of their brows. He driveth on oppression without feeling the ruin of his brother, disturbeth him not. The tears of the orphan, hold on, the tears of the orphan, where am I at? He drinketh his milk. The cries of the widow are music to his ears. His heart hardened with the love of wealth. No grief or distress can make impression upon it. But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the rapacious desires of his own soul take vengeance upon him for the calamities he has brought upon others. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart? Let the poor man comfort himself. Yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons. He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. That's why that table should be circular. Because
Mm-hmm.
ain't no flatterer, ain't no ain't none of that. You can see what's really going on in the round table. He is not
Islam.
embarrassed in the train of dependence nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. Then I'll stop at 17.
Islam.
Oh, 18, my fault. Debarred from the vanities of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about sitting at tables where we should be sitting at. We should be creating our own tables. We shouldn't even be sitting at tables with people that are. We need that they need to be. They need to be flattered or whatever they doing, groupie sessions, whatever they on. We don't need that.
Islam.
We need to sit
Islam.
together in solidation with one another and
Islam.
have solutions as brothers and sisters.
Islam. Mm.
Would you like to
Mm-hmm.
speak from that?
It's nothing really I want to add to it. Just listening to it, taking it in, and you just a little symbology in that, and just a round table. My mind just visualizing that where everybody's face to face, no ego, no separation, just unity and love. Like that's like you said, the prophet Noble Drew Ali, he was a genius. He was definitely a prophet because even in the smallest details come the grandest rewards. And we
Yeah.
don't really even get that. Something is simple. That's why that was just such a stickling point in my brain right now, that round table.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I promise you that round table, that's serious. Like
Mm-hmm.
real. And with this, and then at that round table, because I apologize, but I had to get this because we've been
It's
on
on.
this for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's so important to now. Like it might be a lot, but y'all, it's so much coming at you to keep you distracted that you need to know and have your spirit in alignment back to Allah. You got to have your spirit back in connection. You need it back.
it's
You need to
on.
know your soul is there. Your soul is there, so you need to use it and employ it. You got to stop acting like it doesn't exist because that's what keeps you in your lower self. That's what stops you from raising into a infinite mindset.
It's on.
Infinite, the infinite. We have infinite knowledge, not just finite knowledge. We have infinite knowledge. We just have to reach for it. So in this chapter, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet is magistrate and subject. Because we're talking about a round table, when we're talking about you're raising people up to be, over you. And as a people, we should be raising a ruler up to be over us. But when we sit, we should be able to sit at a round table with this ruler. We should be able to sit at a round table with the ruler, not
It's
at a
on.
square table. We don't need nobody. We don't need to feel like nobody's superior to anyone when we're all
It's on.
equal. Islam. So out of this chapter of the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 19, 29, my apology. 29, my fault. I be getting mixed up sometime, excuse me. We're going to go to verse 10. I'm going to go 10 through 19. It's going to be 10 through 19. So
Okay.
the spirit of the merchant who extendeth his commerce, the skill of the farmer who enriches his lands, the ingenuity of the artist, the improvements of the scholar, all these he honoreth with his favor, or rewardeth with his bounty. He planteth new colonies, he buildeth strong ships, he openeth rivers for convenience. He formeth harbors for safety, his people abound in riches, and the strength of his kingdom increases. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor in security, and their happiness consists of the observance of the law.
Mm-hmm.
He foundeth his judgments. Oh, wait. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor in security, and their
Mm-hmm.
happiness consists of the observance of the law. Are you observing how they're doing this law right now, honey?
Islam.
He founded his judgments on the principles of mercy, but in the punishment of offenders, he is strict and impartial. His
Mm.
ears are open to the complaints of his subjects. He restraineth the hands of their oppressors. He delivereth them from their tyranny. His people, therefore, look up to him as a father with reverence and love. They consider him as the guardian of all they enjoy. Their affection unto him begetteth in his breast a love of the public. The security of their happiness is the object of his care. No murmurs against him arise in their hearts. The machinations of his enemies endanger not the state. His subjects are faithful and firm in his cause. They stand in his defense as a wall of brass. The army of a tyrant fleeth before them, as chaff before the wind. Security and peace bless the dwelling of his people, and glory and strength encircle his throne forever. I just want to know if anybody heard anything in there. And I just want to know because everybody keeps putting someone that's in office as a racist to everybody, and that
As long
this hat he wears represents something that's so hateful.
as long
And
like
it
because we
represents something
seeing with the
so
wrong
hateful.
eye.
Mm-hmm.
We seeing we're not eating the word, and we seeing with our wrong eye, and we looking for colors. We looking for
Mm-hmm.
division. That's why we hating it because we want division. We chasing after division instead of because if we really were looking for unity, we would see how he was ushering in a season so that we can really build and edify our people and get this unity.
Yes.
um, So yeah, it ain't no reason to hate who's up there doing what needs. He's helping getting our land back, our property back. Um, but Allah is in control right now. So it's only
Right.
so much that that guy that's sitting in that position can do anyhow. Because if as he fights to get this land back and get these finances back in order and get us liberated from this economic and religious slavery that we have going on in this
Mm-hmm.
country, if we don't do it on a micro level amongst ourselves, it don't even matter.
It don't
So,
matter.
mhm.
He's just
So
there to drop us the clues. He's there to send us the codes. People look
it,
at that MAGA hat, and if you had any sense, that MAGA hat, this the only president made a hat. First of all, what does
um,
that hat represent? Does it not look familiar in color, Moors? I just want to know.
And what I say the other day, I said, more American great again. Like, y'all see
Like,
MAGA, y'all see Make America Great Again. I see more Americans great again.
that's
And
right.
so,
Make Morris American great again. How
mhm,
about that? That's where y'all
mhm,
getting tricked at, because that's a fed. He just put a brim on it because he couldn't put a fez on. He knows that, not to
exactly.
represent us, but he has to send the smoke signal. Goofballs, are y'all paying attention? I just want to know, because y'all gonna stop hating on the brother because he really trying to help you. Because if you
Because
watch the speech the other day in its totality, you would see where it said the spirit of the merchant who extended his commerce. Donald Trump ain't asked y'all for no money to be president. Not the
at
first time
all.
he won it. He really didn't need it this time because he got his own money. I promise you. That Indian man got up there extending commerce to the people. That other dude did too. He said, "Well, you don't think you might want to give us 4 million?" He said, "Let's talk about it. I might give y'all 4 million."
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me he's not concerned about the people? He planted
Come
new
on.
colonies. They're tearing stuff up. So guess what? We're gonna have to plant new colonies. Allah is in control of this, but he's tearing it up because everybody we're being disobedient. I don't care what you say. We're being disobedient. We ain't listening to nothing going on in the Holy Quran or the Bible. So everyone's an infidel at this point. I'm calling all infidels out.
And then
I ain't
sis, let me
saying
ask
one
you a
person is
question.
one. Huh?
I said, let me ask you a question because I could have missed it because we know I don't watch television and you know I look for my news. So where is Biden? I haven't seen the guy. Like
He's
California
been
is burning the
sleeping.
hell up, huh?
He's Biden is sleep. You said Biden?
Yeah, I know. Right, right. So say it. I know where he at. It was just like, yeah, but nobody's wondering. We so busy. I said that because we so busy hating the man that's coming in the office. There ain't nobody looking for the guy that's supposed to be there. So
Nope.
that's the grand deception. Like that just show how we're just so zeroed in, honed in on hate.
Mm-hmm. We want to hate so bad. We just want to hate somebody so bad. When Biden
Mhm.
ain't showed up to Louisiana, Biden, we ain't heard nothing from him from California. Biden ain't showed up for the hurricanes in doggone North Carolina. They ain't showed up for nothing for the people.
And Sister Vashira, to add validity to your point, and unless I missed it, he wasn't
Mhm.
even at Jimmy Carter's funeral.
He
He
was. They sent him home because he fell asleep. He wasn't
Oh,
staying up. He would not stay up. They sent him home. He was asleep.
wow. Oh
That's
my
why I was
goodness.
watching. He was asleep. Them two seats ended up being empty because he had to go because he could not stay awake.
His battery is all the way powered down. If they don't just let that man go sit down somewhere and wheel him onto a golf course or something, I don't know what they do when they get old, but they need to just let him go on the way. But that even show y'all how trash. Oh goodness. That just show y'all how lack of trust they have in Kamala, whatever her name is. Because why haven't they set him down and said, hey, he can't handle this job no more. So let her go ahead. If they should have done that way back, I mean, I'm glad they didn't. But from a political point, if she was a qualified woman and they weren't tricksters, why
Yeah.
wouldn't they just say
I wouldn't even consider them to be just be tricksters. The thing about it is, being a president, a vice president, if you don't have Congress behind you,
yes?
nothing will be done anyway when it comes to that house. So they just there to fill a seat, a position. I mean, they hold the title, chief of command, military, all that stuff. But as far as making decisions, they
They don't
yeah, they
make
ain't talking about
it.
nothing. They ain't talking about nothing.
They
Yeah,
don't know
They're
Putin
nothing.
not.
They don't
said.
know nothing. We keep just sitting there. They ain't talking about nothing. They ain't
Yeah.
talking about nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Putin is like the first president that we've had that, at least in recent times, that he's even communicated with, because Putin said he don't talk to our president because, and our government, because they don't have no power. And he knows that he telling us, and we mad at Putin, calling him evil too, because he telling us, no, I don't deal with America because it's not real. Their government is not real. Their leaders are not real. So
They're
Exactly.
not. They're
They're not.
not. They are just put in these seats. They are not real. They're not, man.
now here's the
No.
question though. So who's really running it?
Who's running the government?
Mhm.
AI? No, I don't know.
Right. Right.
That
We
too.
know. Well, no, we do know. We were
Right.
talking this. We know who's
Literally,
really running it.
the government is closed down. So this
I
is where
understand that.
nobody's running the government. So this is where this comes in play. This is where things need to start getting done. This is where everything that the prophet brought when it's come to this nation, building a nation and getting to these affairs and doing what we supposed. This is where this is supposed to come into play in everything because there's nobody is actually running the government. I will say the House.
Well, I would say, all right, let me ask you this. Where did the dirty Moors go?
That's the government. You talking
Right.
the city government is not in existence right now. That's what you're
Right.
talking about. The
You're
city
Mhm.
talking
government.
about the Moors, the so-called elite persons, the
Mhm.
noble, the they so-called
Yes.
black nobility, them Moors.
Mhm.
Yeah, the ones that took from us, the ones that's why I said we're the first prisoner of wars. Our own brothers created
Where
us
did
as
they
prisoners of
go?
war. Mm.
Basically, what they're doing now. I'm not saying that it ain't true. They putting the media. They're still they're controlling the narrative. But they're not losing any money, but they're controlling the narrative because of the money and the power that they so-called think they do have with social media and stuff like that, putting things out there about what's going on with all these famous people and all this other stuff when at the end of the day they're just puppet masters too. It's more to it behind them. They're not the ones running anything. They're doing stuff they
Mhm.
done sold they soul. You know what I'm saying? They doing stuff for fame and vanity to get money. And when they get an
Yeah,
idea to where they
yeah.
want to do something even better than that, to where they want to take their people out, because you best believe when it comes to this thing, when people are put in positions to make other people miserable, because we got to have somebody to be rich and somebody to be poor. That's part of the whole game. It ain't a game, but it really is a game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a game, but it is a game. So you got to have somebody that's going to play that role to keep people distracted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And keep them in that lane where they distracted. They don't understand what's really going on. So they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep us miserable in a way, because they're gonna have to have somebody at the bottom in order to continue to run things like they've been running. And that's what they have actually been doing when it comes to this whole fictitious government.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like the
Fact.
whole NATO, they laugh at us,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Yeah.
So do you understand when you keep saying, when we're saying even fictitious on that level? Because the truth is the truth and it's already out. So it ain't like we're saying something that they can block away because it's out already. We already know these things. Fictitious, no different than they say Khalifa's fictitious. No different than they say Lilith is fictitious. No different than they're always trying to write out anything that looks like me and you that is a us is fictitious. It's a shadow
Mm-hmm.
government. It's it is.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's hidden, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
You think
wonder.
everything is hidden?
I
Everything
know.
is hidden.
Not no more.
Everything. I mean, everything is hidden in plain, but it's also in your face in plain sight. But if you are not
Exactly.
aware of what is going on and understanding it's a distraction, and they're telling you the truth right in your own face, but we are blankly still, some of us is still asleep, thinking like, did you see what they just, you see that movie they just put out, or you see this girl and they said this is gonna happen, and it'd be like maybe years this shit really be happening, excuse my language, it starts to happen. So it's like, in some way they have to tell us the truth, so they put it throughout media like it's not real, but it really, this is what's really be going on in this
But see
world.
that's also why when you just say the word media, I believe that's also why, and this is my personal opinion, is why California is the beginning of the wrath, because that is like the baby, the beginning of our media, the narrative where they start pumping the propaganda, even going back to the Nazis and them coming over here with that information and what Operation Paperclip and all that other stuff they came over here with to began these propaganda programming, because they already had us in mental slavery and physical slavery, but now they had to shift it to a new kind of slavery. So there was the programming. But the thing is, the beautiful thing about right now in this terrible time of tribulation that we in, is that nothing is going to be hidden anymore. What was
Hmm.
coded is about to be uncovered and revealed, and it's going to be strict butt naked in front of the world. So it's not going to be about anybody being deceived. Now, what people do during these time of revelations is what's gonna really show us again who's who. But the time of of us even being able to, because right now we're holding on to the deception. It's not a real even the
Yep.
deception is what's
Yep.
fictitious.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep. The deception is long.
mhm,
It's long.
that space is about to be stripped away to now what? Because what's happening is happening. Now that's undeniable. We can say the government is this, or we can say history was this, or who was the prophet is that. But this country, we got the down south freezing, the east ain't got no water. Canada
Mm-hmm.
talking about coming down here, stealing states from the north, California burning. It's like, what the heck else? And the astrology of it all, baby. When I tell y'all the way these planets is lining up, they're all lining up with dramatic shifts of consciousness in this planet, dramatic shifts of consciousness in the government, in America, and in the world. Like the placements that we have coming into place in the next 6 months, all these events happened when these placements were in these exact positions. Just secular, the Haitian Revolution, American
Ooh,
French War. Now, all these on
ooh.
different time frames, but I ain't gonna
Hmm.
go through all the years. I'm just naming when these alignments came in. Even with Russia, when Joseph Stalin came into power, Pluto was in Aquarius, which it is now. When Joseph Stalin died, Pluto was in Aquarius. When Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Holocaust, the World War II. Um, it
This
was
is
another one. It was one more there, but then okay, when Juneteenth, the freeing of the slaves, that was all when the fake freeing of the slaves, the micro dose of it. The Uranus
yeah,
and Taurus conjunction. When you come down to Neptune being in Pisces, we had the American Civil War. That was
Mhm.
1776. And then when you go back up to the Pluto being in Aquarius too, that was also the position when we established America. Pluto was
right.
on what we would call this secular solar return of it takes Pluto 240 something years to cycle the whole zodiac. And America has been established for two some odd years. I look at it, but I never retain the exact year. But it's
I want
made
to.
its complete cycle. So just like when Stalin got into power, Pluto was in its position, and Stalin died. This is what's happening to America right now. When America was established, Pluto is called the Great Destroyer, and Pluto destroys things in an irreversible, irrevocable way. Where the only thing you can do after Pluto do what it does is to start over. So I
Mm,
kind of am excited to see the
yeah.
glory of Allah doing what it's doing, because we ain't gonna move until we waited. We sat here and just waited. So
Yeah, too patiently. So you said
Mhm.
200, how many years? 252?
I don't remember the Pluto. I know it takes Pluto 240 something, but America is like slightly up under that. Like it's only 200 and something now. What is it? 1776, 1876, 1976. So that's 200 years. So I don't know. My math isn't great. I guess it is like 50
Okay,
something.
because I was gonna say it's been 282 years that when we're looking at from 1492 to 1812. Like when you're saying these things, I'm wondering even with those dates if that's significant to any
If
of that
that
or like
lines up. I'm gonna look
that.
it up and see, because what the information I was going off of was just basically pertaining to the American Civil War that occurred right after they signed the Declaration of Independence. So I'm gonna go back and look up that year 1492 though, because it's probably there. I'm sure it is, because that was the real actual date of American establishment.
No, that's when Columbus came over here.
Okay, well,
1492. And then
right.
1812, that's when we got taken. That's when our totem or flag got taken. The vine and fig tree got taken away. Pretty much,
Okay,
we
1812. I'm gonna look up
we're gonna
those.
have to
No,
You
come
the
said that's
back
when
basic.
with
the flag got taken away?
the War of Battle Creek. That's where you can go back. It's the War of Battle Creek in Michigan. The War of 1812, Battle Creek, Michigan. Is it Battle Creek, Michigan? Battle Creek something, but it's the War of 1812, Battle Creek. I want to say Michigan.
In Michigan,
Again.
Michigan, Michigan. Okay.
So yeah. So with to kind of go while y'all looking at that, to go where you were, what you guys were just saying, to even bring this in. Funny how every time y'all are like speaking of something, it's actually the
Mhm.
chapter that's gonna go into.
See,
Look at our live, man. It's something else. So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, Holy instructions from the Prophet Sincerity, which is chapter 34. And I'm gonna go to verse 7. I told you sincerity is that first degree. Yet
hmm
with prudence and caution he openeth his mouth. He studieth what is right, and speaketh with discretion. He advised with friendship, he reproveth with freedom. And whatsoever he promises shall surely be performed. But the heart of a hypocrite is hid in his breast. He maketh his words in the semblance of truth, while the business of his life is only to deceive. He laugheth in sorrow, he weepeth in joy, and the words of his mouth have no interpretation. He worketh in the dark as a mole, and fancieth he is safe. He blundereth into light and is betrayed and exposed with dirt on his head. He cast-
Mm-mm-mm.
he passeth his days in perpetual constraint. His tongue and heart are forever at variance. He laboreth for the character of a righteous man, and huggeth himself in the thoughts of his cunning. O fool, fool, the pains which thou takest to hide what thou art, and more than would make thee what thou wouldest seem. And the children of wisdom shall mock at thy cunning, when in the midst of security thy disguise is stripped off, and the finger of derision shall point thee to scorn. Did you not say everything was going to be stripped?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Islam. Islam. Ain't no more hiding spaces.
Ain't no hiding. Sincerity to first degree. Ain't no hiding. Because if you got sincerity, you ain't even got to worry about that. With you ain't got to worry about none of that.
Like, do
If
we
you're
see how
really
those
living,
people in California are mourning? You know, they're losing everything. We
yes.
about to get humbled in a degree that it ain't gonna be no more division because we gonna have to lean on one another.
Yep. Yep.
Talked about an economic collapse, baby.
Yes, exactly. But that's this like when it was being said that we would be forced to come together, we would be forced. The
Mm-hmm.
force directs the power, as it says in the circle 7. The force directs the power. So we're being forced.
Mm-hmm.
So forget about who you like and who you don't like. Forget about talking about a skin color, because that same skin color you trying to think is so against you will be the skin color that save your behind. Because it has nothing to do with no skin color. It has everything to do with the person's spirit and their character. That's why the prophet said, "Do you love me?" He asked a question, "Do you love me?" They say yes. He said, "Well, act like it then. Act 1, act 2, all the way to 7. Act like it. Character. What's your character? You can't skip none of these laws. You can't skip that Constitution. You need to read all of them. You need all 7 in the first one and all 7 in the second one to make sure you're walking in the way of the prophet.
Islam.
Because you have to apply everything. You can't miss a step. That means you're trying to skip something. You're trying to quickly get there. And if we get in there quickly, then go by yourself. But if you want to go far, we go together.
Islam.
We go together. Islam?
Islam. You know, I was looking at one lady's story, going back to the California thing. She said, and, you know, okay, let me just stay on target because I'm just wondering why some of those people are still there. You know, leave your belongings behind and just leave. Just leave. Don't wait till the fire get to your street. But nevertheless, she left out her house and realized her car was burnt up, and she was standing there not knowing what she was gonna do. And a neighbor
Mhm.
said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "No, my car burnt up." And the neighbor said, "Girl, get in this car. You going with me?" See, we don't even know if they liked each other or not before that moment.
Yeah, 'cause there was a man on there that said his wife said we gotta go. They needed to leave, and then they were like, "Well, no, y'all don't have to leave." And then she comes back from the store, it's like, "Oh, we gotta go now." And he was like, "Wait, but I can't grab nothing." He said that
So,
they left, and he said he seen the fire like some houses up the way from where they were, and he was like, "Okay, it ain't reached down there. They're gonna get here before it even gets to us." By the time they came back, all their stuff was gone. He's like, "But I didn't get a chance to grab nothing." See, we be so attached to our stuff, and we don't realize this stuff will quickly be taken away. As quick as it was given, it will be taken from you. That's why you
mm-hmm.
can't hold on to things. This is why I say you got to be as light as a feather. Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back. Bag lady, bag brother.
In the Holy Bible, it says that, and they liken it. I can't think of where the tribulation scripture is, but I know it references the days of them leaving Egypt. That when at the moment when it's time to flee, it's gonna be like the thief in the night. Like, you know, you're gonna have to grab your stuff and go. This is why even one of the feasts that the Hebrews observe is called the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and that's because in the middle of cooking they had to run. And so their their yeast didn't get to rise. So now they just commemorate that by eating unleavened bread during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But that's just to say how in the swiftness they had to get up and leave everything behind and just take off.
Leave the world behind. I'm trying to tell
Mm-hmm.
y'all, leave the world behind. Didn't come out for no reason. Why everybody's,
It's
oh, that
long.
movie was stupid. It didn't make no sense because you
Bye.
weren't paying attention to what was being said to you.
One of my first, I always call him one of my first spiritual teachers that came into my life. He said, "You got to take knowledge to the book to get knowledge from the book." And so their minds are already closed when they get into this information, so they can't see ever. What does the scripture say about that? Ever seeing but never perceiving, ever hearing but not listening. You know, they it's like that because that movie was deep as heck to me. I watched it twice, back
Yeah,
to back. Like,
that's fine.
it's wow.
I did 4 times. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I kept. I was like, this movie is
Yeah.
giving all the business. What
Yeah,
movie
I
was
probably
that?
watched it 4 or 5 times. I have because it's so many messages in there from the Tesla
Yeah.
cars taking off to the economic collapse to the foreign things going
Right.
on. And like we got drones in our sky now. We don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like this stuff is
Right.
happening. Like Sister Vajira
Mm-hmm.
said, they show us in the movies, and sometimes it's years. The
Yep.
song that you and I were talking about last night, Sister Say, the Burn Hollywood Burn. These brothers
Mm-hmm.
sung this song back in what, the early 90s maybe?
Late 80s. Yep.
Like
Late
I was about
80s,
to say
early
late
90s.
80s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
prophesying ourselves as the time goes on, but we don't know what a prophet is. So we missing the messages everywhere. But we
Yes.
believe the Simpsons a prophet though.
Right.
Mm-mm-mm.
Everything that doesn't look like us. But Shira, was you about to say something about that? Did you ask what the movie was?
No, yeah, I was like, what movie was y'all talking about?
Leave the world behind.
Oh yeah, the daughter was watching Friends at the end.
Mm-hmm. Because you're gonna need
So
some. You
that was
gonna need
said,
some
fell
when
out.
all this is said and done. Them was the only friends she had. Was friends.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can see
And look
that.
at the
Mm-hmm.
behavior of nature in that movie. Like we ain't looking at what nature. I'm seeing some strange things in nature. Even on the which we are obviously the animals running from the fire, but you got mountain lions or whatever that was. I couldn't get a clear image of it, but it wasn't a dog just laying in somebody's front yard. And I'm like, what in the world
It
is that?
wasn't a dog. They're coming out the hills. Them animals are coming out of those mountains, so you don't know what's coming. Bobcats, all kind of stuff will come
Looking
out them
coyotes
mountains.
and stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Yes, they'll come out the mountains, and they are gonna come because they cutting down the trees and doing all that. So you think that that's like they're gonna come out of all these places, come out of her. Ain't nobody playing with nobody no more. Your money ain't gonna save you. Your status ain't gonna save you. Your Beyonce records ain't gonna save you. Your Kendrick told you.
And guess
Kendrick
what?
Lamar is not your savior. Nipsey
What
Hussle,
about the
not your savior. Kobe
Mhm.
Bryant is not your savior.
What about the beast that's gonna come up that we don't even know exist or that we at least ain't used to coexisting with?
Hey,
Girl.
Come on
Uh,
hey.
now. We got animals getting chased out. They gotta eat. They ain't gonna not eat. So people, you know, and then you have people whose spirits so nasty that nature already don't like you. People make fun of me because I talk to squirrels. Yeah, I made a friend with a
mhm,
squirrel. I love to know
mhm.
that that squirrel came to my house to eat my little nuts because I
You
want
told
nature to know my
me.
name.
Yes, come on.
Okay.
Yes, you know, I even gave her a little ghetto name. I called her Santika. Um, she was just a little ratchet squirrel, so I had to give her a ghetto name. Like, what the heck? And it was the same squirrel. I know it was injured, so that's how I know for a fact it was. But even outside of that, you know, we need to pay attention to the signs because this is was that's why I'm like people think what's going on in California is not already affecting everywhere. It's already affecting the whole country. We got
Uh-huh.
300,000 people displaced.
Yep,
That's
uh,
food and resources. They just emptied out the grocery stores over the snowstorm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Speaking of,
And we so
Speaking of,
gluttonous, we don't know how to go without no food.
I'm
we can't fast, none of that. We talk about, I'm hungry. You better eat some
Mhm.
what you got. You better find you some.
I remember when my children were little, my son, he was a little greedy thing. He used to always be like, I'm hungry. And I used to tell him, no, you're not hungry. You want something to eat because there is
yeah,
a
it's a
difference.
different.
Like, there's a big difference because you eating your meals when you're supposed to eat them. So, hey, I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
telling him, don't ask me for something, but we going to word this correctly because I don't even want you to trick your brain into thinking like that.
Islam, definitely. So
Mhm.
also, I wanted to say this. Bashara, did you want to say something before I go to these next two?
Mm-mm, go ahead.
Okay, so about to camel back up for what y'all just said again. How I don't know how it's happening. I swear I'm not doing it. This is just the
Islamism.
way I laid it out on paper, and y'all are just going straight into everything. This is a trip.
But this is
So
what
chapter
happens when the divine feminine come together, though.
30, yeah, you're right. The divine oh, the divine feminine, the divine. You see that divine, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 35. Holy instructions from the prophet, religion. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go at instruction 22. It
Hold
said,
on.
oh praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving and meditate in silence on the wonders of his love. Let thy heart overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement. Let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let the actions of thy life show that thy love to his law. Show thy love to his law. Allah is just and righteous and will judge the earth with equity and truth. You know that? Allah will judge this earth with equity and truth. Hath he
Islam.
established his laws of goodness and mercy? And shall he not punish the transgressor thereof? Oh, think not, bold men, because am I hearing something? Oh. Okay, my apologies. Hold on. Because it was given a lot of background noise. Hath he established his laws and goodness and mercy, and shall he not punish the transgressor thereof? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
think not, bold men, because thy punishment is delayed, that the arm of Allah is weakened. Neither flatter thyself with hopes that he winketh at thy doing. His eye pierces the secrets of every heart, and he remembereth them forever. He respecteth not the persons or the
Mm-hmm.
stations of men. That's why I said, ain't nobody here. Don't give a doggone because you got it like that. Okay, that's
I
where
know.
you grew up and all of these things. This is where I grew up. Okay, we know that. Okay, that's fine too. But y'all ain't been cultivating your land right. You ain't took care of your land right. You left your post. We shouldn't
And look
allow
at
nobody to take over what belongs to us. Islam.
Islam. Islam.
So where we at today? So we're in a the world is in a disarray because we've been disrespectful across the board. We've been disobedient across the board. Ain't got nothing to do with just us. It got to do with everybody that claims that they believe in whatever it is they believe in. So are
Mm-hmm.
we all infidels? Is my question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take myself out because I ain't perfect. So I'm gonna always be speaking to myself also. So I know that I need to be living right and making sure I'm an example of what I'm speaking of. So I'm checking myself too. Islam?
Islam. Islam. And to add to if sorry, sis, to add to the no respecter of persons, Tina Knowles and Paris Hilton house just burned down too, so money meant nothing. And guess what?
Yeah.
They want us to feel sorry because they house burned down. And no, unapologetically, I don't care because they need to go cry over the houses that's about to burn down. Ain't no sense of crying over the one that's just burned down. You better go on and worship the next one because that one about to get burned down too. Because this structure of money y'all got is gone. It doesn't mean anything no
It
more because
is.
Allah is no
Ooh.
respecter of persons.
Yep. The high and the low, the rich and the poor, the wise and the ignorant, when the soul has shaken off the cumbrous shackles of this mortal life, shall equally receive from the sentence
Islam.
of just and everlasting retribution according to their works. She just
Islam.
said it. Then shall the wicked
Islam.
tremble and be afraid, but the heart of the righteous shall rejoice in his judgments. Because they afraid. They are afraid right now. They're losing
Islam.
everything that they
Mm-hmm.
love so much, and they loved it more than they even loved their people because they never came to the people's aid. They never came. They see us crying in the streets. They watched me
Islam.
struggle with 4 sons that I couldn't feed them, and we had to live in hotels, and we was getting put out all the time because I
Islam.
couldn't afford to take care of 4 sons and myself.
Islam.
No, live in Atlanta, Georgia, where it's many rich Asiatic black folks, and didn't nobody come see about me, or maybe even my sister that lived next door to me that had nothing at all. At least because I'm a hairstylist, I can figure out how to feed my babies. She didn't have that. You
Islam. Our house
understand?
has been burning right in front of them.
Yes, Islam.
Mm-mm.
So you're trembling. The wicked is trembling right now. They're scared. They're terrified.
Islam.
But they didn't think
Islam.
Allah was coming back for his children. Allah, the mother and the father, was coming back for their babies. They didn't think us Liliths was coming back. They didn't think the
Islam.
daughters of Lilith, like Khalifa and Queen Neith and all these other warrioresses, was coming back for our stuff because you're our Mother Earth. So the mother has to take her earth back.
And you know,
Islam.
this just showed how the frequency is in the earth, because when you look around, everybody is blaming or attributing. Let me apologize for using that word. Take that back. Attributing the wrath of this on feminine goddesses. Ain't nobody blaming this on no masculine god, because they know that Mother Earth is she's spewing her anger back up at us. We've been mistreating us. Blood, what the scripture say in the beginning, that the blood is crying out from the earth, the blood of the prophets, the blood of those that came here to carry out the will of Allah, that y'all have murdered and ignored and abused. Yes, that blood got to be recompensed for. Yes, that blood is crying out. America is built on blood. We walking on blood.
Mhm.
Oh, Ohio is a big old Indian burial ground. That's all Ohio is. And I'm sorry, Native American burial ground.
Islam. Islam. And it's our blood. It's our ancestors' blood. It's our forefathers' blood. Our forefathers and our foremothers.
Mhm.
We are them without a doubt or contradiction, but their blood is spilled all over this land. So you think that that destruction wasn't coming for this place? Did you
Mhm.
really think it wasn't? And the other countries have allowed it. So you ain't even safe while you talk, while Ghana's offering you something. Still, you're not Ghanese.
Islam,
You nothing to know,
Islam,
nothing about being no Ghanese. You're an
Islam,
American. So what are you
Islam,
talking about? And you're gonna go
Islam.
over there and do what? Because you're gonna have other rules you're gonna have to follow. But you're gonna
Mhm.
leave your post once again, Adam. You're gonna leave your post once again, Eve. Because
Mhm.
Lilith ain't left her post still.
Still,
The
and
cherubim and
that's
seraphim they kept their thing with Allah. They stayed with Allah. Their will was ever strong. Lilith was one of them. Call it what you want. Lilith was one of them. I'm not being disobedient to Allah. I'm gonna stand on the right hand side of Allah. That's why you have elders, women that are more. They so into their belief. They love Jesus for the love of
Islam.
Jesus, because they know I gotta stay at the right hand of Allah. I can't leave my post to go satisfy my loose desires.
And it has always been women who stayed, if the truth be told, like you referenced earlier, who stayed at the cross at Jesus' feet in the biblical narrative when he was hanging on the cross. It was Mary and it was two Marys that stayed
Mary
there.
Mag. Mm-hmm.
At the tomb, it was the Mary standing outside his tomb. Before that, it was the Mary Magdalene that they tried to label a whore with no evidence of her being a whore. Not one
Mm-hmm.
story of her being no whore, but somehow, because she washed his feet with oil,
That
she a
she had to
hoe.
be that. Right, she had to be that.
Like, this
So
is
it
crazy.
says definitely. Oh,
But that's how they demonize us. And now they've
is
created that archetype of woman, though. But it's okay. It's really okay because it's
This
all.
is okay.
huh?
Mhm.
I mean, they all could have been women. Mary, Mark, Joseph, Matthew. It could have been the 12 disciples. All could have been women. Who say they all was men?
They gave you
Well,
right.
we
It
got
could have been.
yeah. The 12 daughters. When you're thinking of those 12 daughters,
Ooh,
the
stop it.
13th,
Oh
you
my
thinking of
goodness.
the siblings. You thinking of the siblings. You thinking of the 12 daughters, and that 13th one is that's the head mama. That's the chief.
And it's already speculation that Peter was
Jesus,
a woman.
Jesus. Man, we're not. That's gonna. We. Nope. That's another
You
topic.
going?
But say that is yeah. No, that we can y'all talk about that because for real. So
Okay.
seriously,
Okay.
Hmm.
who's to say?
Okay. Okay. Oh, fear Allah. So I'm gonna finish this one, and then we're gonna go into that. Oh, fear Allah. Therefore, all the days of thy life, and walk in the paths which he hath opened before thee. Let prudence and let prudence admonish thee. Let temperance restrain. Let justice guide thy hand, benevolence warm thy heart, and gratitude to heaven inspire thee with devotion. These shall give thee happiness in thy present state, and bring thee to the mansions of eternal felicity in the paradise of Allah. This is the true economy of human life. That's the true economy of human life.
Yes,
And Bashara, what were you saying? The Jesus, what did you say? Go into that, or is that for another time?
No, I was just saying. I said that could be for another time, but I've questioned. It's just so many the genders that's been put on this thing to cover up what started at the beginning. When it's the matriarch. So that it just kind of covers up a whole lot of stories. It's like
no, sis.
they try to kill everybody off in order for nobody could tell the real story.
Mhm.
That's what it's all been about. The war covering up things so their nation could be superior over this one and that one. There's no really divine principles that's being exercised out when it comes to humanity and in that light one. This nation, it's all about fight. It's been war since the beginning of time, and time never was when man was not. It's always been a war. Maybe it was a universal war within the heavens of the frequencies and the energies of trying to come about when it's time to make things come on this earthly plane. Maybe Mars and Mercury was in
No,
retrograde. I don't know.
no,
So
since you cooking. You really cooking, whether you know it or not, you cooking
I'm for
because I'm
real.
telling you,
I'm really
look
thinking
into
that.
the God star. Look into the God star. I'm telling you, Venus was the primordial sun, you can call it, in the sky. Venus ruled the earth at one point, and the planets fell off a conjunction, and that's why all the stars was fixed.
The
When we look
Saturn
at the
used to be a sun, right?
come on, yes. It was Saturn, and then it
With the
was Venus,
seven
and then it was Mars that sat in the middle of Venus. Yes, 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 yes. And now the sun still
heads.
existed. It was just way further out. So this is like when you look at the Holy Scripture, the Holy Bible, and other esoteric, the Sumerian, wherever you go, the what we look at, and they call them gods and deities, and yes, they are that because they're sentient beings, but they're really describing the war of the planets. Aries, the god of
Mm-hmm.
war. That's now my mind drawing a blank, but that represents certain Roman and Greek deities and so forth. And then you got Oshun and Yemiya and Aphrodite. Those are all Venus energies and such and such. So now you definitely on point. And then here you go falling down. And Saturn is literally the planet that was blasted away off its post because for some odd reason, which is still the will of Allah, just so the unfoldment can happen. But the sun and Saturn came too close together. And at the time Saturn was activated. This is really like they don't talk about this, but look into the Thunderbolt Project. God Star is a great book on it. At Edward Cardano, I believe is the name of the author, but it breaks all of this down. And even the stuff that the Israelites used to describe as clouds coming down, why the nebulous and the earth was, and look at Venus ruling the planet. That's love. That's the feminine goddess energy. That's when it was the peace on earth, if for that matter. But it was disrupted nevertheless. But that's why the planets moving now is so pivotal. And going back to one more point I wanted to make, at this time when Saturn and Venus and Mars was in its conjunction, all the planets and stars were fixed. We didn't have a solar cycle where the wheel is spinning the way that it's spinning. So everything was even tempered. There wasn't but once that conjunction fell off and this is the even temper, that was the feminine energy, just to make sure we got that part clear. So once everything fell off its axis, now you have all these masculine energies governing the planet, ushering in the age of whatever else happened in the earth before patriarchy started to take over. And there has been nothing on the earth but war since these planets left their posts. The same thing that Adam did, happened on the earth. You can liken Venus to Eve, and You know, it's all type of way in Mars to Adam, Saturn to God. It's all type of ways that in these Greek mythologies, Kemetic mythologies, and mythology doesn't mean false. It just means it's the story simplified to express the truth so that everybody can understand it. So in all these mythologies, it's telling us the same truth, and as above, so below. The same way the
Mhm.
masculine energies have knocked Venus off her axis. That's why Venus is still the brightest star in the sky. Well, Polaris, but Venus still amongst the planets. So is the brightest planet, the one of the ones most easily seen with the glow of her light, which she's visible now in the oh, she's doing her thing too. She got I ain't even get to her, but I'm trying to do a video, but technology is crappy right now. But the way that Venus is back showing off in the sky right now is letting you know too the feminine energy is back. Where the aspect Lilith is at in the sky, she's in the same position with the moon in Libra right now. That is a detrimental position. We know Libra is the scales. That's my eye. So the
Yeah.
Mhm.
goddess is back with the scale.
The balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's justice.
Yes.
Mhm.
Jesus.
And then
My
also
eye.
look at
Jesus
the
is
Yeah,
a
earth.
woman.
justice. That's the sin. So you're honest. I mean, even right there. Come on, Maya. Justice. Jesus means justice.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, really.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about his holy name, it really could go back
Mm-hmm.
to what we said. We could go back to really what that holy name probably is, and it's a sister. I really feel like it was a sister on that. If it was somebody on the cross, maybe you didn't realize it was a sister.
You
So
know
who is
what? This is the
who is
thing.
Emmanuel? The name that we can't use. Emmanuel was the one that was the name given.
Mm.
Who is Emmanuel?
Oh.
And where they come up with Emmanuel, then they went to Jesus. Who was
They
Emmanuel?
try
Why is
to
that a sacred name?
they try to travel through the language and make it make sense, but I can't really remember the Hebraic explanation of it because we also got to consider that none of these words are the same as they were in the original language. Just when
Right.
nobody back then named Joseph and Peter and all that ridiculous, all that stuff. Like whether they were even if they were men, they names wasn't Joseph and Peter. Um, but I know what you're saying though. I just can't remember what that name was and um why they say they transgress from Emmanuel to Jesus, which we was looking at that last night too, because it's relative to Isis, Esau,
Hmm.
I still can't pronounce the word.
Right, but it is. It all comes. It's all around the same condemnation. And like I tell y'all, because my teacher, I just went to
You gonna put
apologize
that
on
in
Wednesday. My teacher taught me about that thought, having this thought. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta raise your thoughts in order to unfold these things.
Mm-hmm.
So come
Mm-hmm.
on. Vowels
Mm-hmm.
are only interchangeable. They interchange them. They change them up all the time to make you think one word and it's really something else. So what
Mm-hmm.
is it? You know what I'm saying? Well,
Yes,
so
yes.
we only got a few more to go, y'all. This has been an amazing, deep, dope conversation. Islam
It's
and Bill.
long.
I am so
Long.
excited. So I want to come out of chapter 38. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, the holy instructions from the Prophet, the soul of man. And I'm gonna start at 3 because we're so detached from our soul, we don't realize we really have one. So that's what's keeping us in the state of mind we're in too, because we don't even realize it's there. So 3, thinking, understanding, reasoning, willing, call not these the soul. They are its actions, but they are not its essence. Raise it not too high, that thou be not despised. Be not thou like unto those that fall by climbing, neither debase it to the sense of brutes, nor be thou like to the horse and the mule, in whom there is no understanding. I'm only going to 12. Oh my goodness, where's my page? Oh, y'all, I done missed. There is not a page in here.
Oh wow. But you
It's
on
a
3?
page missing.
Well,
You
that
gotta
show
mm.
that mean you be in there reading.
Girl, where my page? Right? Because I'm like, well, where's my page?
Right there,
Hold
there's a
on,
whole
y'all.
page
Oh,
missing.
there. Wait, is that my page? Hold on. No.
It ain't sticking together,
Girl.
is it?
No, it ain't sticking together. Hold on, let me get this one. I'm gonna have to Pull out the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Let me go to 38. This one falls apart so much because, yeah, I use this one a whole lot. Let's see. Okay, we're talking about the soul. There we go. Okay, so on 5, search it by its faculties, know it by its virtues. They are more in number than the hairs of thy head. The stars of heaven are not to be counted with them. Think not with Arabia that one soul is parted among all men. Neither believe thou with the sons of Egypt that every man hath many. Know that as thy heart, so also thy soul is one. The nearest place you can meet Allah is in the heart. And I ain't talking about the ones beating in your chest. I'm talking about the one in the mind. So know that as thy heart, so also thy soul is one. The soul, the heart, and the soul. The heart physically, and the heart and the soul of the mind. Does not the sun harden the clay? Does it not also soften the wax? As it is one sun that worketh both, even so it is one soul willeth contrary. As the moon retaineth her nature, though darkness spread itself before her face as a curtain, so the soul remaineth perfect, even in the bosom of a fool. She is immortal. She is unchangeable. She is alike in all. Health calleth her forth to show her loveliness, and application anointeth her with the oil of wisdom. Although she shall live after thee, think not that she was born before thee. She was created with thy flesh and formed with thy brain. Justice could not give her to thee exalted by virtues, nor mercy deliver her to thee deformed by vices. These must be thine, and thou must answer for them. Suppose not death can shield thee from examination. Think not corruption can hide thee from inquiry. He who founded thee of thou knowest not what. Can he not raise thee from thou knowest not what again? Islam.
Islam.
Um, if you pay attention, the soul is feminine.
Islam.
Gee. That's why I say it's important to know you got one. So maybe y'all don't think you got one because you have to tap into your feminine to even get in touch with it. Is that what's going
Islam.
on? We scared to tap
Islam.
into our feminine energy because we're not scared.
Islam.
We know we're masculine and feminine, but you brothers got
Islam.
to understand that in order for you to even tap into your soul, you're not going to know it perfectly. It's inscrutable, so you won't know it perfectly. But in order to know that it's there, you got to tap into your feminine side. That's where your soul resides, in that feminine aspected nature of you.
And see, this one of the sad consequences of this perversion of the feminine energy is the come out of the pump narrative about what's coming or going on, and to look at it in kind of a esoteric or occultic level. This perversion of gender identification, I'll just call it that. Another reason
Mhm.
that that is being expressed in the planet on the most perverted level is because when you suppress a thing, it's going to get more and more distorted and more perverted. So this feminine energy is just coming out in every distorted way because y'all won't let the goddess get back on her throne.
That's
Until
right.
y'all let us get back on her throne, on our throne, and deal with each other and with our communities and with our nation the way that we supposed to, we gonna keep pumping out this distorted, nasty energy. And it ain't us. I'm not saying the goddess is pumping it out. The universe is doing it's the cause and effect of how things work. When you create and sustain an imbalance too long in your body, it turns into a dis-ease. So that is why now we got a dis-ease in the feminine energy. So our brothers got to be aware of that. And I'm glad we having this bold conversation about it because this is really what time it is. And sisters got to boldly stand in our personal power. I like that personal power phrase because somebody on TikTok used it. And I'm like, that's really what the black god of the Asiatic woman has is that personal power within us to stand on the virtues and the essences of our life. And really, we got to do it whether the brothers doing it or not because they too busy trying to fight each other and put their foot on our daggone neck. And yeah, we got to get the feminine energy
Islam.
back where it needs to be. Islam.
Islam. Sister Rashada, you got something to say on that? That's good. Come back.
She basically said everything that I was thinking of, but I was just, I can come back of what you said, sister, because when you say get them to go back, um, feminine energy is the mother energy, and the mother energy is based off, it's in your mind, it's the thought of the mother, it's the planting of the seed. So there where that after we get done with this chapter, the prophet left this clearly cut where it talks about the pinnacle of wisdom. So once you reach in the pinnacle of wisdom on your top, and they reaching that, and you looking at this from a point of view to where you're not putting any type of gender based into it, whether you are male, female, woman, man, whatever you call yourself. Once you tapped into your wisdom, you already the pinnacle. You already in your feminine air. You know what I'm saying? You're in your feminine spirituality. You're understanding it. You're tapped into your mind. So that's where that comes about. So the wisdom is whenever you tapped into that wisdom. Oh yeah, they say, oh, she got you. The wisdom, it got you. You tapped in. There's no going back from it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're tapped into that. So the mind is the like we talk about. It's the triune of Allah. So it's the unity of, we can call it, I could sometimes call it the mind, the body, and the soul, where the mind is like the wisdom is the mother, the body is like the father, because that's the force of protecting our inner selves, and then the child, which is the soul, because we planted that seed, which continues its growth on this physical plane in this
Come
physical
on,
body.
baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, we got to make a union with one another, so which creates another out of the Trinity. It's all about the mother, the father, and the child, the mind, the body, and your soul. Planting your seeds deeply planted within the mother, in the mind. You know what I'm saying? In order for the child can grow within wisdom, and and you're teaching them the laws and climbing that like obedience and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what that's what I think it is, and that's where that's where I think the triangle comes in at. Like you have the equilateral triangle would encompass the whole. That's the whole 360,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
whole triangle, and the circle, either or,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
circle, triangle, and the circle, the cross, the square, the pyramid. It's all 360 degrees. So once you study thyself and study thyself well of all that, because man is not the body nor the soul.
That's right. The
Yes,
spirit of the
ma'am.
Man, it's the
body.
mind. It's your mind. It's mind. It's not the body nor the soul. So my thing is the father and the child. It's the mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
It's the mother of virtue. So therefore, how can y'all not teach these lessons and such? I know they probably do, but like, let's just be real here. Like, I feel like it's time for, we don't need to be asking nobody to do anything. Whatever we choose we want to do, we should just do it. And that's just how I see things is happening when it's coming to this. We ain't got to ask for nothing.
Yes,
Nope.
ma'am. It's
It's
our
the only,
divine right.
the creator. The creator is the only one who has authority over me.
That's right. So I love y'all. Y'all are so dope. All praises to
Yes,
the Allah.
ma'am. Yes,
He doing
ma'am.
this.
Hey, you
It's
so
love.
dope.
The divine
Yes,
instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 41. Holy instructions from the prophet in constancy. I'm going to 13.
ma'am.
How should his actions be right? He has no rule of his life. Nothing can be just which proceedeth not from reason. Then I'm going to go down to 23. The happiness of the inconstance is as a place built on the surface of the sand. The blowing of the wind carrieth away its foundation. What wonder then that it falleth? Now I'm going to go to 33. Establish thy heart, O man, in that which is right, and then know the greatest of human is to be immutable. Islam,
Yes, ma'am.
y'all have anything to say from those three? Because we only got two more verses we talking about.
Are you still in
Mm-hmm.
the solar man?
I was on. No, that's inconstancy. 41.
Oh, you're in a consciousness. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm drawing us back to see how we get. This is how we got here. Because I went from the front and I came backwards to this back part. I came backwards. I didn't go forward. I came backwards because we're really supposed to read from
Go backwards.
yeah,
The back
and
to
left
the
to
front.
right. Was it
Mhm.
left to right? Right over there. Right to left. Right to left because it's right over left. Yes, right to left, not left to right. We're supposed to read this way. So I did it the opposite way to take us backwards because we
Mm-hmm.
be backwards. We backwards. So our last two instructions from the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. One is coming out of chapter 23. I mean chapter 42, and one is coming out of chapter 43. In 42, I'm coming to instruction 23. So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 42, holy instructions from the prophet weakness.
Mhm.
23. Truth is but one. Thy doubts are of thy own raising. He who made virtues what they are, planted in thee a knowledge of their preeminence. Act as thy soul dictates to thee, and the end shall always be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Islam.
It's a question though. It says, "Do you know right from wrong?"
Mm.
It's a question. Do you know right from wrong?
You said that's a
Mm.
question in here?
It's a question that I wrote on here. In this book,
Oh,
it says, Do you know right from
right.
wrong?" And I answered the question. There is only right. Everything
Truth
is
is but
right.
one.
Nothing is never wrong.
Truth is
So
but one.
when we're talking about our weaknesses, we still can be in our weaknesses, but in the weaknesses, you're gonna always find your greatest strength, because without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. So there is no wrong, there's no
Islam.
weaknesses. All of this is all illusions, and based on people's perspectives on how they see when they're going through anything. Because when you're going through something, sometimes that could be a blessing that you're going through it, because you're shedding, you're unfolding. You need these lessons to go through. Multitudes of lessons to go through life. Perfected a man. So you need these lessons. So I wouldn't say when he's talking about these people be so upset when they feel weak, or man, you got to go back and self-examine yourself and
Mm.
listen to the still small voice, and listen to what Allah is trying to tell you something and give you
Mm-hmm.
that direction. You know what I'm saying? That said, the virtues are allotted to various stations. See not after impossibilities, nor grieve that thou canst not possess them all. So truth is but one. So this is your truth. Your truth is very personal. So everybody's journey is going to be different. So when it comes to weakness, I
Mm.
just feel like it's a time that everyone has to go through all these things. They foes. This is a
Yep,
foe that someone has to go through. And
exactly.
once you overcome one foe,
Another.
you may conquer all foes, but then you go into a higher state of thinking. Here comes some more foes that you're gonna have to go through too. You know what I'm
I
saying? But
love it. I
you
love
know how to go
it.
through these. So you're gonna take these lessons that you learn to cultivate the ones that you are already going through again. It's gonna be it's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You sacrificing self. That's the only thing anybody should be sacrificing, is sacrificing yourself. Death is no enemy to man. So therefore, that's the only thing that should be done on these multitudes of lessons. So you shed. So this weaknesses, I just feel like that. Yeah, truth is but one. Truth is I.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Allah.
Islam.
Allah. Huh? Sister Shonda,
Mm-mm.
you say
No, I just said Islam.
something? Okay, Islam. So the last one for tonight, our last one is coming from the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 43. The holy instructions from the prophet, the insufficiency of knowledge. And I want to take us to instruction 20. Telling you, y'all ran this, y'all did this because everything y'all was saying, and y'all just don't. Man foreseeth the evil that is to come. He remembereth it when it is past. He
Mm-mm-mm.
considers not that the thought of affliction woundeth deeper than the affliction itself. Think not of thy pain, but when it is upon thee, and thou shalt avoid what most hurt thee. Islam.
Islam. It's just amazing that, like you said, without us even knowing where you were gonna go, the conversation just fluid. It was just so fluid, so effortlessly fluid.
Islam.
Mm.
Islam.
My comments.
Would you guys have anything to
You
say
said
to the
in
people
20,
before we leave?
you
Can
said
y'all leave them with any? Huh?
the
What'd you
fault.
say?
You said the fault is not truth for that. Which one was you reading, Tay?
43.
Yeah,
Instruction 20.
the fault is not in truth for that is a marvel, but the weakness of man beareth not its spender.
No.
What is it?
43.
43, right?
43 verse 20. Insufficiency of knowledge. On 20, man foreseeth the evil that is to come. He remembereth it when it is past. He considereth not that the thought of affliction woundeth deeper than the affliction itself. Think not of thy pain, but when it is upon thee, and thou shalt avoid what most hurt thee.
And that just
This is
went so perfectly with what she just said.
yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
insufficient. You said insufficient knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It went perfectly from what she just said.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was like, I don't know what else to say.
Because these things are not made up. I'm telling you, spirit leads these things. We don't be realizing that spirit is leading, but there's no way we didn't talk to each other to say where we was going in this thing. That's how you know spirit
Absolutely.
takes the charge. Huh?
I said we absolutely deny Islam, and all I'm thinking is like it's the days the daughters are prophesying. It's the
It's
days.
Islam.
Mm-mm-mm.
Islam.
And this is going on a micro level with us. And the scriptures say where two and three gather, there Allah shall be. And the
Islam.
three
Islam.
and it's also is a triangle, which is the way it's on my screen is the upside down triangle, which is feminine energy too. So like
Man
Allah just
down.
all included in
Hmm.
the whole situation. Like, come on now.
Two cancers and a Sagittarius.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now.
I got
That's
my
five
cancers
to
this
one.
time. You see, I got my cancers. I got my moons. Like, come on, y'all. What y'all gonna do?
You got the mother. You got mother signs on the board right
That's
now.
right. Right
On the board.
there. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So this is beautiful, and this is what I'm talking about. We have to sound the trumpets. We are those trumpets too. We have to sound the
Absolutely.
trumpets for our people because they don't know. They're lost. They're trying to figure it out. They want to know. But when Allah is coming to us and speaking to us, because Allah speaks to man through man.
Mm-hmm.
So this was not for no reason. These almost 4 hours of building. We did a Rod Hayes and Tia Pruitt situation,
Didn't
y'all.
we
I
though?
need
Didn't we though?
Islam.
we did that thing. I appreciate y'all more than anything. Would y'all like to say anything to the people to give them a little love before we get out of here to kind of take them along? We're gonna be all right, y'all. We're gonna be all right, but we gotta understand until we're obedient, we're gonna keep going through what we're going through.
Islam. Just peace and love and stay in perfect peace and stand on the virtues of Allah. We got to encourage each other because I've had to be encouraged. I'm sure we've all had to be encouraged because things are shifting for everybody and Allah is in control. And if you haven't been right, then get right because it's not too late. If you still here listening to us talk, then you still got a chance to doing about face and get in the right direction. But I just love us and the divine feminine energy is conjuring and building, and I'm loving that too. But Allah, most of all, gets the glory and the honor, and I'm just thankful that the people are about to see that glory unfold. So that's it for me, Islam. And I appreciate
Islam.
building with you sisters too. Like this was wonderful. I ain't even like this went for 4 hours easily. Like, okay.
I know. Islam. Islam. This is good. Would you like to say anything to the people, Sister Vashada or Babe?
Um, I would just say, happy holiday. Today's Friday. Everybody needs to continue to stay safe with this weather that's going on, and do not operate in fear, because Allah's leading on and victories assured. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Islam. Yes.
Because I'm now trying to make a store right now, and it's snow.
Oh,
So
you be careful. Safe travels. Please call me when you get
Yeah.
back to the house.
I'm hungry. But
Oh, there
Sister
she
Defender
goes.
said I'm not hungry. I just want something to eat. And I'm
Islam.
Islam, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna send y'all the recording. I hope it lets me send it to y'all because we're on a basic right now. Because I don't have $88 to give StreamYard. So we're on a basic plan at this moment. So I'm
Right.
gonna send y'all what it
okay.
gives me. Okay,
Okay.
just to let y'all know I'm gonna send it to you. It's probably I'm gonna have to just share it probably because I don't know if it's gonna download to send, but I'll share it from YouTube.
Yeah. You just
Um,
share it and you can get it from there or watch it from there.
yeah. And just remember, y'all, March 22nd, we have the Taste of Africa coming. Some more events coming up. Remember that the Uniting of Asian Sisters Auxiliary every month at least tries to do one family, 1 to 3. We try to look for that may need personal items, anything like that. We know it's a lot going on right now, so we may be the ones that need some stuff too. But we're doing our best just to make sure that we can show up for each other. So if you know people in need, reach out to the Uniting of Asian Sisters Auxiliary on Facebook, and we can see what it is we have available because we're actually doing this on our own. Nobody's giving us anything. So it's money coming out of our own pockets that we work for, not from Temple, not no kind of membership fee. None of that comes from us. We're doing all of this solely on our own because we know it's the work of the prophet. We know it's the work of Allah. So we're just doing as we're called to do. Islam. So I just need
Islam.
everyone to do that too. Islam and Allah is leading on in victory is sure. And I love each and every one of y'all. Peace and love. Happy holy day. I'm hungry too because I have been talking a lot.
Islam.
Man,
Peace and love, y'all.
yes, my
Peace and love.
son keeps coming out asking. They was like, "You still on your mini, mom?" I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't cooked nothing yet, so I gotta go get
Yeah,
some."
they have it.
But I
All right.
enjoyed myself. I had a great time. That was a great build.
Yes, I
Islam.
I
love
look
Have
it.
forward
a
to the
beautiful
next
night.
one.
Yes, let's do it
All right,
again.
peace and love,
Please.
sisters.
All right. Peace and love. God, that was a long. That was 4 hours. Jesus alive, help me. I didn't realize we went 4 hours, y'all.